episode 187 of Coffee and Co-Read, your source for all things literary with Catherine
and Kristen, where we believe there's nothing better than a hot coffee and an awesome book. Join us for a virtual book club where we take one book a month and dive into all the drama, adventure, and romance we can find. Hi, Catherine.
Hey, Kristen.
So, we've sort of been... we talked about our summer, how our summer was in terms of reading. We talked about the book we're doing. But we figure, since fall is sort of well and truly on the way.
Yeah, you can really feel it here.
Yeah, tomorrow for us, today's the 20th for us right now.
Spoiler.
So, spoiler. We're recording this early.
It's not live.
So for us, tomorrow's the 21st of September, so that's the first official day of fall, so that's super exciting. So we figured we would talk about fall reading vibes and books that sort of give us the fall feeling and all that jazz. So
yeah.
What do you got for fall reading vibes?
I feel like you can kind of go two ways for fall reading vibes. You can go straight into the horror-y stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can go into the cozy, fall, hot chocolate-y stuff. And tea.
Yeah.
I don't know the last time I made hot chocolate. Yeah, I'm thinking probably more the cozy fall vibe for me.
Yeah.
For sure. I want to get some... I want to find some books that are kind of that vibe and put them in my reading stuff now. I did start recently the Fever series by Karen
Marie Moaning.
Thank you. I was I know moaning is in there.
I didn't forget the moaning.
Yes.
What an iconic name.
I know. Yeah. Do you think it's her actual name or is it a pen name? And she was like, I'm going to put this little nod in here.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
It would be hilarious if that was her name and this is just her calling.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's I was listening to a podcast the other day and there was an ad and this girl was said that she was talking about doing a book podcast and her last name was Book. That is wild.
Amazing.
So yeah.
It doesn't, so I just Googled it really quick. It doesn't say, it doesn't say that it doesn't say that it's a pen name. It says that her parents are Anthony R. Moaning and Janet L. Moaning. So
it's definitely her name if her
Moaning
parents are
is her last name, yeah.
Wow. That's fun.
Yeah. So, yeah.
I will say there's not a lot so far, and I'm on the second book. So, I thought that I heard that this series was, super spicy.
Right.
And so far it's not. I'll be done the second... Well, I might be halfway through the second book. And I do have the third one on the way, so... I'm enjoying it, but I do want more. I do want a smutty, cozy fall read.
Yeah. I wonder about that book that everyone was sort of talking about recently, the Pumpkin Spice Cafe or something.
Oh, yeah.
I wonder what that's like.
That seems like it could be.
It feels cozy, and even the cover feels very cozy.
It does.
But I don't know where it's at in terms of spice.
True, yeah. And I do like the supernatural elements that we do gravitate towards. I do like that in books too.
Yeah. Oh, it's okay, so Pumpkin Spice Cafe is a cozy romantic mystery for fans of Gilmore Girls with a grumpy sunshine dynamic, a small town setting, and a HEA.
Oh, fun. Yeah, her last name is Gilmore, the author.
Oh, fun.
I don't know if that's a pen name either. We can't be looking up everyone's pen names. This is not what the podcast is about.
Anyway, so it is Oh, spicy. Oh, hang on. I'm getting a little something. Okay, so I looked up like the spiciness of a pumpkin spice cafe, and it says that it is Hallmark-esque.
Oh.
With quote unquote open door spicy scenes, which I don't understand.
Well, closed doors like Lorcan and a lead. It's like, and then
Oh, so he did.
Yeah.
So when it doesn't explain it.
Yeah. So I'm assuming I actually haven't heard anybody use open door to describe it. I've just heard people use closed door.
Oh, okay. Well, it does, open door spicy scenes that are described as both sweet and steamy by readers.
Fun. Sorry, you said Hallmark, so I just sent you the picture of the holiday movies for this year from Hallmark.
Oh, amazing.
Because I saw it, somebody sent it to me yesterday, so. Yeah, so what are your thoughts? What are your vibes for the fall?
I'm not, like, I really like a couple years ago when we did X-Hex in October for the podcast. Yeah. I loved that vibe and getting, like, sort of the spooky Halloween-y element, which is what I'm excited for. I might actually finally pick up Enchantra.
Oh, true. That probably
because
is
it sort of might like give me that sort of spooky Halloween-y feeling. I'm hoping. I've also heard that Enchantra might be a little bit better than Phantasma.
Oh, really? I liked Phantasma.
I did too. I've heard it's sort of like you're a pendulum, like one way or the other. A lot of people are saying that either they liked it better because the MMC is better.
Interesting.
Or swinging the other way of they just find what's-her-face sort of annoying.
I can see that, and I do worry about that.
Yeah, so either you are so in love with the MMC, whose name is Rowan, by the way.
Well, already a hard-on.
Right? So either you're so in love with him that he makes the book better, or you're so annoyed by her that you can't stand it. It's one or the other is what I've been. So anyway, but yeah. So I might hopefully do that.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah. I also never did read the next book in the X-Hex.
I started it, but I didn't finish it.
So that maybe could give me some vibes.
I actually bought the third book. I don't know I can't see it, but I don't remember what it's called. But I did buy the third book, and I'm like, yep, I have a problem. Everyone has problems with buying books. Yeah.
Well, it's funny because I'm actually going to the bookstore today, so I'm like, maybe I'll find something cozy, fallish there while I'm out and about.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah. Anyway, but also the pumpkin spice book apparently is a dream. It's from a series called the Dream Harbor series, which includes other seasonal books that also feature a balance of sweetness and spice.
Interesting.
Oh, the next one is the strawberry something pancake. Oh, wait. Hang on. Wait for it.
Waiting.
So there's the Pumpkin Spice Cafe.
Mm-hmm.
There's the Cinnamon Bun Bookstore.
Oh, fun.
The Christmas Tree Farm.
You wouldn't be able to bring cinnamon buns in a bookstore. They're too sticky. Sorry.
Make you wear gloves.
Yeah.
But then there's the Strawberry Patch Pancake House.
Okay.
The Gingerbread Bakery.
Oh.
And the Daisy Chain Flower Shop, which is not out yet.
Fun.
I don't know if the gingerbread one is out yet either, because that one's 2025. But the Daisy Chain one is 2026.
Oh. Interesting.
And so, like, realistically, you could read, like, you could pick a book for every season.
Yeah. I wonder if it's on Libby. I'm going to check.
Because the pumpkin spice and the cinnamon
that I
bun.
don't know, I'm like
I know.
I'm like, I don't want to buy the first book and then be like, rrr. And I'm sure I would love it, but also I'm worried that I just would lay it down with all the other books that I've bought.
Yeah. But it's weird because the first two seem very fallish. Then there's a winter one. Then there's a summer one. Then there's another winter one. And then there's a spring one.
I wonder if they're all in, like, the same place.
I think so, because I think it's set in this place called Dream Harbor.
Okay. It's a several months wait on Libby.
Wow. Well, that just tells you that
they're popular.
Yeah.
I don't like, well, and it's just a Canadian versus American thing, but I don't like how they spell harbor.
Yeah, that's true.
But anyway, yeah. Well, if you get that book and you like it, let me know, because then I'll have to buy them all.
I will let you know.
But I think that's a book that I could buy and then immediately read.
Yeah, and you could definitely have it done in like a day.
Well, and I just saw the audiobook is 7 hours, so it's not a long book.
Oh, wow. Yeah, no. Little.
Yeah. So.
If it's not like 40 hours long, I don't want it. No, I'm kidding.
I know, I was going to say the same thing, and then I was like, that's not true, though.
Yeah, it's not true at all.
That's not the vibe for this fall. Even though, spoiler alert, next month's book is a chonker.
Which is wild, because I don't remember very much happening in the first book. Like, I read it.
Yeah.
And I don't remember... Like, I remember the big moments, but I don't remember how that takes so long.
That's funny.
So, I guess we're gonna find out. Anyway.
Oh, I was just... Jesus. I was just looking at it. I was like, why is it 7 hours? But it's, that's at 1.5 speed.
Oh.
I think. I just want to see how long it is. Why are you doing this to me? Anyway, yeah, we'll get to what the book is next time. Next time? No, we'll get to it at the end of this episode is what I meant to say. And also next time, because next time we'll be talking about it. But
yes.
So yeah, those are our fall vibes. If you have any good suggestions of like cozy fall reads, we're definitely interested.
Yes.
So send us a message. But for now, we'll get into our episode. Just a heads up, this is not a spoiler-free zone, and things don't get saucy other than, you know, swearing, death, destruction.
No more sex, people.
Yeah. That's what I'm getting at. Oh, wait. The sex is this week, isn't it?
Oh! Okay, never mind. It is gonna get saucy.
Sorry.
Things are getting saucy.
They do, and they are. So funny.
Yeah, I totally forgot how, like... I totally forgot where it starts.
Yeah.
So much is gonna happen.
Yeah, I know. And, like... This is going to be a chonker of an episode.
Yeah. Okay, so we are reading chapters 34 to the end today of The Songbird and the Heart of Stone by Carissa Broadbent. We're cluing it all up. It is going to be a chonker of an episode because so much is happening.
Mm-hmm.
So, at the end of last week, they were in, Secrets, the Sanctum of Secrets, and they were both like on the verge of death, and they managed to find a little room of Morthrin there where they could be safe. They healed, they drank each other's blood, which for some reason revived them, and we don't understand it. And then Asar helped Mischa have an orgasm.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they kissed.
No. She mostly helps herself.
Yeah, that's what I said. He helps her.
Yeah.
He guides her there. And so, yeah, so then she's like, then Atroxus, like, she remembers what she has to do, and she's not okay. She's feeling a lot of remorse over her, like, betraying Atroxus, essentially, is how she feels. So, but they're both feeling better, so they are now on their way to the Sanctum of Secrets, what do you call it?
Underworld?
No, like the space where the relic is supposed to be.
Oh. Yes. Yep.
I'm glad that we both forget what the word is. Anyway. So we both forget what the word is, but they're
headed. We'll get there.
They get up and they're heading to that place. Mm-hmm. Mischa sees it as the Citadel, but it's not. That's just like her perception of it because they're in secrets. So, starting off,
we still don't know what Asar sees, and we don't find out.
And we don't find out. No. So, we're starting off this week with them like walking towards the Citadel where they need to go. And Asar, she's like really quiet because again, she's feeling ashamed. She's also like really, she has feelings, but she knows she's not supposed to have feelings because she's Atroxus's wife. I say wife very liberally, but like,
yeah,
you know, she does see Atroxus as her husband.
Yeah.
So like the fact that they did what they did, she's feeling ashamed. She feels like she betrayed him. Like she feels like she wasted his gift, has wasted his, like, you know, everything that he gave her. So she's feeling real shame.
Yeah.
And so Asar just asks her straight up as they're walking why she's so quiet. And he actually wonders, like, is it because of what they did last night? Mm-hmm. And, like, is she... And, I mean, it is, but, like, she doesn't want to say it is.
Yeah.
Right? Because that's... I don't know, too honest, like, so she just, like, brushes it off and says, no, I'm just tired. And we're like, okay, fine.
No need to lie.
Yeah, and, like, he definitely knows it's a lie, come on. Mm-hmm. So they finally make it to the Citadel, and she sees that, like, everything is the same as it is in the real Citadel, and, like, there's a statue to Atroxus, and, like, it brings her back to a memory when she tells Atroxus that the statue looks nothing like him. Mm. And he asks if she's disappointed, and she says no. And she's 8 years old at this point. So, like, I don't know. And she thinks, like, back then she was 8, and she was a small, like, beggar child nobody. But, like, she still feels like she brought him joy. Like, and she was surprised even as a child that she could bring this god joy. Mm-hmm. And I just, like, it just really gives me the heebie-jeebies that, like, he was, like, with hanging out with an 8-year-old, and then, like, he's like, in 8 years, you're mine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just, like,
100% do.
It's just really skeezy.
Yeah.
And sort of reminds me of, like, in ancient times when, like, men would marry, like, children, but then wouldn't, like, do anything with them until they got their period.
Yeah.
Because then they're a woman.
Yeah, even though they're still, like, 12.
Yeah.
Some people.
Yep.
Yeah. And, like, not super ancient times, too.
Mm. Oh, yes. No, I'm sure it is.
Yeah.
It is not that ancient, but in my brain, it's a lot of history. Like, a lot of noble families used to do it. Like,
yeah.
So, anyway, so she hears a voice in her head asking how she managed to get so dirty. And I don't know if that's, like, a memory or if that's I feel like it's just her voice talking, like maybe like her inner voice that hates herself saying that, because like she does think that, like, because Atroxus always talked about how dirty and how like what is it called, not sullen but sullied vampires are. So, like, she feels dirty. And Asar obviously sees that something is off, but she's like, oh, it's just a memory. And they just keep going. And, like, again, he's just ignoring her lying, essentially. Like, he can tell that there's something going on, but he's just letting her work it out for herself.
Yeah.
So, Asar tells her, like, they just continue and they get to the Citadel. And Asar tells her to draw her sword. And she tries to give it back to him for him to use, but he can wield his magic. So he's like, I don't need that. You need that more than me. And she doesn't like using swords. But she says she especially doesn't like using this one. And she says it's not because it feels wrong, but because it feels right. So, like, she's really in the business of just denying herself any sort of happiness.
Yeah.
And it's like she feels the continuous need to punish herself for the past, like, 50 years.
Wild.
So, there's nothing in the Citadel. Like, it's completely empty. And they're, like, exploring cautiously. They really thought there would be a ton of wraiths around and everything like that. And they're just waiting, sort of, for the other shoe to drop. Because, again, like, they just escaped from Malik and Ophelia, and, like, her sister was there, but, like, she never really got a chance to, like, say anything. So, like, they just escaped a ton of wraiths, and they're sort of, like, they haven't attacked us yet. That's weird. So, like, they're going down hallways, and she says, like, the tapestries even remind her of the actual Citadel, even though the hallways aren't the same. Like, everything is decorated to look the same, but it's not the same structure. And she says that the tapestries get more and more grotesque and bloody, like, as they go. And she says that's not like the Citadel. The Citadel was very much, like, only preaching the good and the light part of Atroxus, not, like, the bloody, gross bit. And she does stop and look at one in particular, and she notices a shadow in the corner of her eye. And then all of a sudden, like, darkness starts dripping down the wall, and she hears a distant scream, sort of like Chandra's last scream for help. And then she recognizes the drips as something, but she can't quite figure out what it is. And I guess they're like, this is ominous, we should go. So they start to run. And, like, then the drips are coming from the ceiling, and they're coming up underneath the tapestries, and she realizes what they are, and they're hands. And I'm like, how can you not place hands? It's like, I guess this looks familiar. Like,
yeah.
I guess. She's like, these look familiar, but I don't know why. They're hands.
Yeah. Interesting.
So, they keep running, and all of a sudden, Ophelia is in front of them. So, like, she was there all along, I guess.
Yeah.
Asar begs to, like, let them pass, but obviously she refuses. And she can smell Asar on Mischa, so she knows that, like, something happened. And,
like, not enough for her.
Not enough.
Like, not enough for me.
And she just tells him that he is a regret to every person he has ever loved.
Oof.
Which is terrible to say.
That's something.
Yeah.
What a thing to say.
And she also says, like, I don't need to haunt you. Your ghosts will. Because I guess he's trying to be like, take me, let her go. She doesn't have anything to do with this. But she's like, dude, I don't need you. Like, you're essentially like his own guilt is going to eat him alive.
Which is true.
Yeah.
She's not wrong about it.
No, it's true for him and Mischa. They're the two peas in a pod, the two of them.
Really, though, yeah.
So then she touches Mischa, and Mischa can sort of read her whole existence. And I don't know if that's just a thing with wraiths, or if it's a Mischa thing, or if it's a Shadowborn vampire thing. Like, I don't know why she can do that. She does, though. But she says she can feel how, like, young and hopeful and in love that she was. And it's sad.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to be sad. Like, Ophelia didn't ask for any of this, so it's hard to, like, see her as a villain in this sense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Especially now that we've gotten to the end of the book, so we've seen her storyline sort of, not resolve in a way, but, like, we've seen how the book finishes her storyline. Yeah. So, like, it is really hard to hate her, considering, like, you know, how she died, why she died, and, you know, what was then done to her in the afterlife. So,
yeah,
I can't quite hate her.
No, definitely not.
So, but then Asar sort of shouts, and Ophelia drags Mischa down, but we don't really know down where. And I think she also, like, leaves her, and it's really, this is sort of my only complaint, is, like, because this is obviously a journey to the underworld, so, like, the rules of physics don't apply, the rules of, like, gravity don't really apply.
Yeah.
But, like, it's hard to understand, like, when she says drags her down, does she physically mean she, like, sort of dragged her to another place? Mm-hmm. Or did she drag her down in her mind? Is her body still present?
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, that's sort of my only qualm, I want to say, with this book in particular, because it is set in this sort of magical place that has no rules. Mm-hmm. It's really hard to know, and it's not explicitly stated.
Yeah. That's fair. I can't help you out. Sorry.
I know you can't. It's more of a rhetorical question, because I know you can't really answer it. So I guess when Mischa, like, I don't know if she lost consciousness or if she didn't, but again, like, it's not something I know, but she, for lack of a better term, wakes up or comes to, and it's really dark, and she's trying to light a candle, but she's tried calling to the light, but it won't answer, so, like, her power's not working. Mm-hmm. And she hears someone say, "Let me help you," and it's her sister. And she feels so much love for her and emotion, but she doesn't know why. So, like, this part of the book, it's almost like Mischa is back in her old life. Mm-hmm. So, like, she doesn't remember Ophelia and Asar, like, her being a vampire, anything like that. It's almost like she's right back in her old life with the Citadel and her sister is there.
Yeah. Do we think that, like, is this just Ophelia, like, putting her inside of her head?
That's
like,
what I
maybe
mean.
That's what it meant by dragging her down. Because I did take it physically at first.
Yeah.
But now that you've said maybe it's mentally, I'm like, oh, yeah.
Like, it very well could be.
That makes sense.
So, it turns out that she's been put right back into her offering day.
Ugh.
Again, it seems like this is it's always where she ends up. Mm-hmm. And I feel like it's probably because she holds a lot of regret going through with it. And that's why she keeps going back. So it's her offering day. She's I think she's in the gown already. And she admits that she's nervous to her sister, and her sister questions her nerves. She's like, why are you nervous? Like, this is such an honor to be chosen. And now, like, we're both going to be safe and taken care of thanks to you. So Sasha is like, thanks to you, I'll be safe now.
Yeah.
So, like, it's so much weight to put on a 16-year-old's shoulders.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
This choice that you are not, it's not even a choice. Like, what you are doing is helping me.
Yeah.
And Mischa thinks that now that she's chosen, she's never going to want for anything ever again. And by association, obviously, neither will Sasha. So it's a way for Mischa to pay Sasha back for saving them as kids. Mm-hmm. And
which isn't something she should have to do.
No.
But it isn't something that Sasha should have had to do either. It's just so sad.
And I don't know. Sorry, everything is blending together for me. I don't know if it's going to happen. Yeah, no. So I'm about to talk about it, so it's fine. So Sasha then asks her, is she nervous about the physical side, like sex? Mm-hmm. And tells her that Atroxus will be gentle and to follow his lead and he will be happy. Mm-hmm. So again, it's just another one of those, like, layers of, like, not only is he a man, but he's a god. So, like, nothing about Mischa being pleasured or Mischa enjoying it. Just, like, essentially lie back and take it and you'll be fine. Yeah. And it's so awful. Like, I hate it so much. Yeah. And Mischa sort of feels the same thing. Like, she feels like that is a really intimidating instruction. Yeah. Like, she's like, he will be happy. But she also feels like, how can he be pleased with her? She's a virgin with no experience and he's had countless lovers. So she doesn't really understand how he's going to be happy with her. Yeah. And again, she's sort of comparing herself to Sasha, which is something that she routinely does, and think about how, like, Sasha was always better. She was the better acolyte. She was the better like, better fighter. She was literally better at everything. She was more devoted.
Yeah.
She was everything in Mischa's brain that Mischa is not. Mm-hmm. So, of course, Sasha is also better at sex. Yeah. But I will say that it was for an unfortunate reason, because apparently she worked as a prostitute for a while to help earn them the money to travel to the Citadel in the first place. So that, of course, then makes her feel guilty, because she's like, my sister had to essentially prostitute herself in order for us to get here. So she feels bad complaining about having to give herself to Atroxus, like one person for the rest of her life, when her sister had to, like, give herself to many. Which, again, it's just so much pressure, because, like, not only does Mischa now have to be like, okay, well, me doing this takes care of my sister, but she's like, also, me doing this is paying her back for her having to whore herself. Like,
yeah, and, like, her being like, oh, he'll be gentle because he's a god. It's like, well, is she saying that because people weren't gentle with her?
Yeah.
I do feel bad for her, but I don't think, like, obviously it's not on Mischa to repay her, but obviously she did everything she could. Like, it's just such a fucking sad situation.
Yeah, it is. It's one of those things where, like, obviously it's not up to Mischa to take care of her sister, but it's also not up to Sasha to take care of me. Like, I mean, I'm so glad they, they had each other and stuff, but, like,
yeah,
it is just really unfortunate all around.
Mm-hmm.
So Mischa thinks that her sister is beautiful, a better priestess, a better magic user, has a better heart, and, like, she just doesn't understand why she was chosen instead of Sasha.
Yeah.
So there's a bunch of acolytes around, and they're prepping more things for Atroxus, including a firefinch with, like, a jeweled collar. So again, like, the firefinch, I feel like, is sort of representing Mischa, especially in this moment. Mm-hmm. Like, she sort of feels like she's about to be caged, like, with the collar, owned. Yeah. But seeing that bird, like, I don't think it's a real one. I think it's, I don't actually know, but, like, I don't know if it's real or if it's like a little figurine.
Well, and then the thing too is, like, was there, in her actual past, was there actually a firefinch, or is she seeing herself as a firefinch?
Yeah. The layers on layers.
Yeah. I don't know.
But anyway, for some reason, seeing the firefinch with the collar brings everything back. So she remembers everything, like the journey with Asar and, like, her being a vampire and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
And she wonders, like, is this actually Sasha the Wraith, or is this, like, a vision? Is this, like, an illusion? And then she speaks to her, like, she says something, and then Sasha sort of, like, also snaps out of it. So it seems like they were both, like, sort of in a memory.
Yeah.
And Sasha asks, like, Mischa, is it really you? And hugs her and says she missed her so much. And when I read this, I was like, oh, thank God. Like,
I know.
Because I was really hoping that her sister, like, showing up at Esme's house and Mischa just immediately running. I was hoping that Sasha wouldn't be a bitch.
Yeah.
And would actually just be like, I've been looking for you. I felt you here. I wanted to tell you that it's not your fault. Like, you know what I mean? All of that.
Mm-hmm.
But so I read this and I was like, oh, thank God. So Mischa's like, oh, I miss you too. I thought of you every day. And Sasha just keeps hugging her tighter and tighter, and then whispers in her ear, that she gave her so, like, that Sasha gave Mischa so much. She doesn't even know all the things she did for her, sort of maybe indicating that there were some other things that
we don't know
about.
Mm-hmm. Which, like, is that gonna come up?
I don't know.
Because the end of the book doesn't have a satisfying end for Sasha.
No, it does not.
So I'm assuming it'll
come back, yeah.
Yeah.
So she keeps hugging tighter, and like Mischa looks and sees the priest holding the firefinch with the jeweled collar, and the collar is getting tighter and tighter until she hears a snap. Okay, so the bird was real. Not a figurine.
Yeah.
And then she realizes that if Sasha is here, she is a wraith. And the room then morphs, so it isn't like a perfect replication of her choosing or her offering day anymore. So I guess she is really in a different location. It's not just in her brain.
Okay.
And then Sasha asks why Mischa let this happen to her. And like Mischa she's like being suffocated. So she finally breaks free, and Sasha then morphs into like her transparent wraith self. And she's got blood smeared all over her throat and blood all over her, like, white acolyte robes. And then Sasha tells her that she has been praying for years and no one answers. And just says, like, she gave him everything. Why did he forsake her? So it seems like she's not just mad at Mischa, but also at Atroxus, maybe? Or,
does seem like it.
And, like, I don't think she would ever stand up to him and be like, how could you do this to me? But, like, in her head, she's like, how could he do this to me?
Yes. Yeah. Which is why I'm just so surprised at how she's acting later.
Yeah, I know. But
I guess it's different because, like, she's never been visited by him. She just was, like, worshipped him as a concept. She never actually... Yeah. Okay. I talked myself through it.
Talked yourself into it. She also tells Mischa that she was proud of her.
Eey.
And then she ruined it.
Eey.
So that's sort of... It's a slap to the face.
That's what you want to hear.
And Mischa knows that she's right, and that she just should not have climbed the tower and released that vampire's body. Like, she should not have done that.
Mm-hmm.
And then Sasha continues that, like, she treated Mischa not just like a sister, but like her child.
Yeah.
And it does seem like there's quite an age gap there.
Yeah.
Like, it seems to be, like, what, between 8 and 10 years of a gap.
Yeah.
Like...
I guess even 6 years, she'd be 14 when Mischa was 8.
Yeah.
And that's when it all turned around. So yeah, even 6 years is a bit young.
Yeah. Well, for her to have worked as a prostitute at like...
Yeah.
It, you know, not saying it doesn't happen. I know it does, but like...
Yeah.
It seems... That seems a bit young to infer in a book.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, books don't tend to... Books like this tend to try and make things palatable-ish. Hence why her offering was at 16 and not, like, 13 or 12. You know what I mean? Like,
or, yeah, as soon as she...
Yeah. So...
started bleeding.
Yeah. I feel like Sasha being 16 to 18 probably makes more sense.
Yeah. 8 to 10.
So, yeah, so she's just like, I treated you like my child, which is like, yikes.
Yeah.
And, like, essentially, like, look what you've done. Essentially, you've ruined our lives. And then she says something that is actually really heartbreaking. She says, I was a child, too. Like, who's supposed to protect me? And, like, valid point.
Yeah.
Like, 100%. She did not deserve the life she had.
No.
But, I mean, what else are you gonna do?
Yeah, none of them deserved it, but yeah, it's just a hard situation.
It is. So I guess after that, she's worked up, so she attacks Mischa. And the magic in the sword Asar gave her is like calling her to use it, but she doesn't want to because this isn't just another soul eater. And I'm like, I thought she was a wraith. Is she a wraith or is she a soul eater? What is she?
What is the difference?
What is the difference? But so she's just like, it's my sister. It's different. So she instead wants to like help her sister cross over into the underworld and hopes that Asar would just help her.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, obviously he's busy too. Like, you know, we're sort of dealing with something else right now.
Yeah, the consequences of his actions.
So, in avoiding her sister, she ends up falling through, like, a door. And that's where Asar is. So it looks like Ophelia just, like, dragged her and dropped her to another room.
Mm-hmm.
And he's fighting someone off. And it's Malik. And
of course it is.
There's fire everywhere. It's really hard for her to, like, see. She's like, but I'd know my maker anywhere. So, like, she knows that it's Malik, but, like, she can't really see him very good.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess Asar is fighting Malik, sees Mischa being attacked by Sasha. So he tries to use some of his magic to stop Sasha. But Mischa doesn't want him to hit her sister and potentially, like, destroy her. Mm-hmm. So she ends up jumping in front of his magic, and it propels her across the room. She hits the other side of the wall and, like, falls. And she, like, cracks her head on the wall. And then she feels these, like, glyphs, and I don't know if they're on the wall or the floor or whatever, but she looks over at Asar and realizes that he keeps going back to, like, a section and saying spells to activate glyphs, so she's trying to, like, open a door.
Mm-hmm.
So, Lucy is there, and she sort of is trying to keep Sasha from attacking Mischa. But, like, Sasha does, like, touch her a few times, which does hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Asar sort of sends Mischa some of his magic, and she runs along the wall, finding glyphs and, like, activating them. And her sister is just coming after her, trying to attack her.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, then there's wraiths crawling out of everywhere. It just feels very chaotic, to be fair.
Yes. Yep.
It would be terrible for someone with, like, ADHD.
Yeah.
How would you focus?
You would not be able to focus.
Anyway, so she does, like, keep going around, and she does activate a couple of more glyphs, and she gets to another one, and her sister is trailing behind her, and, like, at this point, begging her to look at her. And, like, Asar and Mischa, I guess, like, after activating the glyphs, there's, like, a little archway that's lit up, so they're running towards it, and she has to activate the last glyph, and her sister is like, don't leave me. And, like, obviously her sister is still upset, and, like, she knows that her sister is not gonna, like, turn it all around and be like, I'm sorry. Like, she knows her sister is still gonna, like, try and attack her and kill her, but, like, it's really hard for her to not turn around.
Yeah.
So she does activate the last glyph, though. The door opens. Asar, like, barrels into her, pushing through. And her sister reaches for her, telling her not to leave her. But then Asar slams the door shut, and they're in the temple. That's the word I was looking for.
Oh, okay.
Temple.
Yes.
And the sound of the wraiths has gotten super far away. So they've closed themselves in now, so they're safe. Although, I don't know how Lucy got in there, but Lucy was hurt. Sasha, like, threw Lucy across the room and, like, and hurt her. So I don't know how she got through the door, but she did.
Good.
So she is hurt. But the worst part is they, like, go to the middle of the room where there's a pedestal where the relic should be, but the relic is gone.
It's not good.
Nope. And they're like, well, shit, we've also barricaded ourselves inside a temple, and there's no way out. Which is fine in a couple of chapters. Like, yeah. I don't understand. It's fine. It's fine, I promise.
Everything's fine.
I don't understand. They're like, oh my god, there's no way out. But then in a couple of chapters, they're like, actually,
let's just leave.
Let's just leave.
Well, do you think how they leave is godly? Maybe. So maybe they helped out? I don't know.
So they're just like, well, shit, there's wraiths still outside. Apparently there's also a storm, which I don't really get because, like, they're in a sanctum. How is their weather?
Yeah.
But there is.
Interesting.
So, like, they were like, well, shit, who has the relic? And they didn't really know who could have had it. But they know that whoever took it was somebody who respected it, because the lid was, like, just a jar on the box that the relic was in. So, like, it was placed, it wasn't, like, rifled through and, like, tossed aside. It was placed back in its place neatly. And they wondered, like, I wonder if Elias got here, or Elias, whatever his name is, got here before us.
Yeah, but would he have been that gentle?
So they're like, we've got to wait around here to heal before we can try to escape. So Mischa just, like, explores the temple. And it does remind her of the Citadel. There are statues and tapestries and everything is the same. The only difference is it's got Alaris in the... rather than Atroxus.
So they're both seeing the temple the same, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. But I think Asar is taking care of more taking care of Lucy, and she's wandering around.
Yeah. I just meant, like on their way there, they saw different things.
Yes.
And now she's like, it's like the Citadel. And I'm like, so is he seeing the same inside the temple? But
yeah.
Yes.
But I think she more meant, like, it's like the same materials. Like, there's marble everywhere. The tapestries sort of have a similar vibe. The statues all sort of have a similar vibe. Like,
yeah.
I think it in that way it
gotcha
has the same sort of feel as the Citadel.
Yeah.
And then there's an altar, and she kneels at it, and she's thinking that her sister told her to pray at the altar and the light would come. So I guess she's hoping that not necessarily Atroxus would come, but that maybe they would get an answer or something.
Some clarity.
Yeah. And, like, praying is sort of in her DNA. She's been doing it since she was 8 years old. So it's sort of a habit. But, like, unfortunately, there's no light down here. They're so far down in the, they're almost at the underworld, really. So Asar approaches her and he kneels with her to pray with her. And she's like, but you don't pray. And he's like, no, but you do. So, like, she's just really overcome with emotion and with the reminders, like, of what she isn't allowed to want. So, like, she very clearly wants him and has feelings for him, but she knows she's not allowed.
Yeah.
So she gets up and she asks how he helps the Wraiths cross. And he automatically says, who is that woman? But she just doesn't answer. She just says, like, there must be a way to help her. And he tells her that he's never been able to do it at this level, at the Sanctum of Secrets. And he says that he's never succeeded because it gets harder the longer they've been here and the deeper they go. So, like, obviously the goal is that they traverse one sanctum to another. So, obviously, being here in the Sanctum of Secrets, they've probably been dead for quite a while, and they've traversed 4 sanctums already. So, you know, they're pretty far gone.
Yeah.
She tells him that, like, he needs to keep trying, and that he can't give up because it's too hard. And that hurts his feelings, because, like, he tries really hard. He tries a lot.
Yeah, it's a bit of a, like... It's a bit of a bitchy answer to be like, well, you're not trying hard enough, when she doesn't know what he's doing.
No, but I also do think that it's not really directed at him, and it's more directed at herself.
Yeah.
Because she does correct it, that she can't give up. Like, she needs to keep she needs to right her wrongs. So, like, you know, it is, like, it wasn't a nice thing to say, but I don't think she was talking to him. Like, she was obviously talking to him, but, like,
it wasn't meant at him.
Yeah. And he just tells her that, like, whatever Sasha said, I don't know if he knows that it's Sasha, but he just said whatever she said, she didn't mean it. But Mischa says, like, she did mean it. Yeah. But he responds, like, she can mean it and it can still be untrue. Which I think is a very poignant thing to say.
Yes. Agreed.
And he says, like, the souls have been languishing so long and their hunger is festered and they're just angry at the world all the time. And she tells him she can't leave her sister like this. Although she doesn't say her sister. She just says leave her like this. And Asar reassures her that they won't. But that hating and sacrificing herself will not help her. And I mean,
Say it louder for her.
Yeah, that's right too.
Yeah.
And that she was too young and she cannot bear the responsibility forever. But she thinks, like, she disagrees with that and says, like, no, she has to because who else will?
Yeah.
And I'm like, Atroxus maybe?
Yeah.
But okay.
Clearly nothing's his fault.
He's a god, of course not. So he asks why she has to. And she tells him that if she doesn't hate herself, who will she hate?
And the answer is Atroxus.
I know, but like she also can't give herself permission to hate Atroxus because she's supposed to love and adore Atroxus.
Yeah, well, it was the salvation of their life, even like, yeah, 100%.
So like she can't hate Atroxus. So the only other person responsible for, and I'm saying responsible loosely. Mm-hmm. The only other person involved in her death was her. So yeah. But she also tells Asar that Sasha was the best priestess at the Citadel who was the most devoted. And then she says that Sasha gave him, Atroxus, everything, Mischa included. Which I think is very telling.
Yeah.
And maybe indicates that she does place a little blame on her sister's feet too.
Yeah.
Because, like, she literally, like, served up her sister to a god, like, when she was 8 years old.
Yeah.
As, like, a little lamb. Here's my offering. Take it.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I do think she tried to protect her sister and, like, she wanted to save her sister. I'm not diminishing any of that, but at the same time, like, you know, you gave your 16-year-old sister's virginity to eons old god, like.
Well, and Mischa was 8. Like, yes, Sasha was treating her like a daughter, but that almost makes it worse because then it's like she gave her child to this god. Yeah. And she was like, don't worry, it's fine. Like, didn't let her even talk about her worries about.
Yeah.
So, like, yeah.
Yeah, and, like, also, like, was like, why are you nervous? This is the best day of your life. Like, this is an honor for you. And it's like, yeah, it would be an honor for you. Like, maybe she doesn't feel that way.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, she didn't give her the license to have her own agency and think of whether this was something she wanted. Yeah. Like, Mischa essentially offered herself to Atroxus in a moment of desperation, right? Like, they were about to get thrown out of the Citadel. They were about to be out in the streets with no money, no food, nothing. Mm-hmm. So, like, what other answer did she have but to say yes and thus be taken care of? So, like, I don't think she would have chosen this life for herself if she didn't have to. Yeah. Whereas I do think Sasha might have chosen this life for herself if she could. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Well, they even said some week that, like, their parents would pray to the harvest god because that was their work, but that Sasha always prayed to Atroxus because that was, like, what was in her heart. So she always was
a follower of Atroxus.
Yeah.
So I guess we sort of get a little thought of, like, Mischa thinking about Sasha sending her to Atroxus's bedchamber at 16 and, like, is sort of mad because she's like, he was supposed to protect Sasha. Mm-hmm. Like, she went to his bed willingly-ish.
Yeah.
With the assumption that she would be taken care of and Sasha would also be taken care of.
Yeah.
And she's like, I understand him rejecting me. I was an acolyte of the sun and then I got turned into a vampire, so now I'm like a creature of the night and I'm sullied. So, like,
I'm trash.
Yeah. Yeah, essentially. So she's like, I understand why he was rejecting me because I'm a monster.
Yeah.
But Sasha was perfect. A perfect acolyte. And she says the only piece of Sasha she has left is actually Atroxus's magic. So, in my brain, her holding on to this little piece of Atroxus's magic and the reason she uses it over and over again and hurting herself isn't about Atroxus at all. It's about holding on to Sasha.
Yeah.
And, like, punishing herself with the burns is Sasha. She's punishing herself for Sasha.
Yeah. Sad.
It is, yeah.
She's just trying to hold on to her sister. So, like, yeah.
So
we really need a better, like,
we need a resolution for Sasha, for sure. So she asks Asar what she will have left if she doesn't have the light anymore. And he is, like, really astounded and quite angry, to be honest, that she thinks that everything good about her comes from a church, really.
Yeah.
And he tells
I love him so much.
I know. He sees so far into, like, the heart of her. Like,
yeah.
And like, is like, he just tells her, you aren't special because you were chosen. You were chosen because you were special.
Amazing.
And, like, it's true. Like, yeah, she gained a little bit more of a following, sort of more, renown, maybe, amongst other humans by being chosen by Atroxus, but, like, he wouldn't have picked a nobody.
Yeah.
Like, he sensed something special within her at 8 years old.
Yeah.
And
the creep.
Yeah, the creep. But then he tells her, like, she owes Atroxus nothing.
That's a big
It's
a
big
bold
statement to say.
Yeah.
And he tells her that if she loses the sun, she will still have a gentle soul, incredible magic and skill, a soft heart but sharp wit, and a penchant for making lost souls love her. And then he said if she wants it, she'll have him too.
Oh.
And I just love that this, like, stone cold, like, sort of, you know, person with this super hard exterior is sort of the first one to be like, if you want me, you can have me. Like, he's the first one.
But I'm also mad at him because I'm like, you son of a bitch, you know what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Well, I guess he just wants a moment of. He just. Yeah. He just wants a bit of happiness.
Which is fair.
So, her magic, like, is sort of out of control at this moment. She's having an emotional reaction and her magic is all over the place. I'm going to say it's her shadow magic more so than the sun magic.
Yeah, I assume so.
And her emotional outburst is causing, like, her magic to, like, coil around him. And then all of a sudden there's, like, no space between them. And he starts to pull away because she doesn't say anything after he's like, you can have me too. And she just doesn't say anything. So he's like, I've made a terrible mistake, and starts to back away.
I love it.
And she just asks him to show her what it should feel like. Because I don't know if they have the conversation here, but at one point, he does say that, like, love shouldn't feel this way or love shouldn't be this way.
Yeah.
So then she's like, well, show me what it feels like then.
Eee.
And then they crash together in quote-unquote beautiful damnation.
Amazing.
So, yeah. So, like, she knows this is wrong, but if she's going to hell in a handbasket, she's going to do it happy.
But it's oh so right.
Yeah. So, like, they're kissing, and, like, it's one of those, what she describes, like, a maddening. It's, like, frantic and fevered kisses, but, like, he backs up. And she is red. She's like, let's do this. Come on. But he tells her that he doesn't want her to regret him. And obviously those are Ophelia's words, sort of hearkening back.
Yeah.
But she tells him she would never regret him, and she knew in her soul that, like, she wouldn't. And I'm like, I appreciate that like, we're in her point of view. So, like, she's saying to us, the reader, she's narrating that, like, in her soul, she knows she could never, ever regret him. But she's like, let's have sex. She doesn't say that to him, but, like, you know, she's like, let's have sex. And he's like, I don't want you to regret me. And she's like, I won't. Don't worry. And, like, it just doesn't feel like, in her brain, we know that she's being truthful. But, like, it just doesn't feel very, like, he doesn't really need that much reassurance.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And it's also, like, she says this, but then later I'm like, are you sure you don't?
Yeah.
Because what the fuck is going on?
Yeah. But, like, I don't know. It just feels like he might... It feels like he should have sort of come back with it a little bit more.
Yeah. They could have had
a longer moment.
I love you moment here.
Yeah.
And, like, she should have told him that she knows in her soul, not just the reader.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I guess, you know, whatever she said is enough for him. So she just takes his shirt off and looks at all of his marks everywhere, and he's got marks and scars, and she's like, oh, he's beautiful.
I was like, I thought you were going to say muscles, and I just was shocked. I was like, oh, yeah, I forgot. Because I completely forgot that he had scars.
Yeah. No, apparently he's got quite a few.
Yeah.
So she kisses him, and she puts her hands down his pants, like, the back of his pants to, like, touch his butt. And I'm like,
maybe, like, we don't know. She had a lot of experience with Atroxus. We don't know what the god was into.
Yeah, that's true. Although I feel like she definitely just, like, laid there, and he, like, did his thing and then went about his day.
Yeah, I think so. That's kind of what it seems like, but
yeah,
I think it's fun to think that maybe he was into pegging.
He could have been kinky.
Yeah.
Anyway, so he just tells her she is testing his self-control. And I mean, it doesn't take much, but then his self-control snaps and he pushes her against the altar.
Which is, like, wild to go from a God-fearing person to having sex on an altar.
I love it, though.
I do, too.
So much.
But wild.
It is wild, yeah. She was, like, just praying at it a few seconds ago on her knees.
And now he's on his knees praying at it. To her body.
So, then all of a sudden her shirt is gone. And, of course, she is self-conscious of her scars on her arms and, like, her body. But he looks at her with lust. And
maybe something else.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I'm just saying that.
And, like, he wants to see her. And she said, it's not like when Atroxus looked at her with lust. Because when he looked at her, he looked like she was an attractive item to be coveted. Which, I don't know how you can see the difference in someone's eyes. We talk about it all the time. But she can. And, like... So he's looking at her as though, like, he sees her and wants her because of who she is. Not like Atroxus, who wanted her because of how she looked. And, like, she even says she hasn't let anyone touch her bare skin in so long. And he kisses it. And he kisses her scars. And she wants to tell him to stop because she doesn't deserve it.
Really?
So, like, we are taught, like, we have some very... deep, like, harmful thoughts.
Yeah.
But, like, luckily she doesn't actually give voice to those thoughts. She doesn't say anything. So he takes off her pants, and she's already wet because, of course, they always are.
Yep.
And she thinks that he's going too slow. But he pushes her onto the altar, starts kissing her body, still taking his time. And he goes, you know, down there and tells her that love should make her think of nothing else and make you see stars. And she thinks that Atroxus had actually just taken what he wanted hard and fast. So.
Not a kinky motherfucker.
No. but that this is slow and torturous and feels like worship.
Interesting.
Yes. So he finally, like, goes down on her because he's down in that area, but he's not actually, like...
just teasing her.
Yes. He goes down on her very briefly, but then he comes back up and kisses her. And, like, she tries to, like, okay, come on, I'm ready to go. Like, let's go. And, like, grabs his dick through his pants, but he's like, no, you're gonna come on my tongue first, because all male characters in books love going down on their loves of their lives.
They need it.
They need it, yeah. So, like, he keeps edging her and telling her that she makes him greedy, and he's jealous of her hand. He was jealous of her hand the other night, and he says that he wanted at that moment to taste her cum more than he wanted her blood. So, like, he was quite revved up.
Yeah.
And then he does make her come, and after she comes down a little bit, she pushes off the altar and kneels before him and takes his pants off. And she literally touches him once. And he's like, nope, this is not gonna work. Because he is just too wound up. So he's like, no. So he gets her up, puts her back on the altar, and they go at it. And apparently they come together, and it changes the fabric of her very being.
Okay.
So she silently begs him to let her bite him. And he is okay with it. So she does. And, like, he is still inside her. And then he bites her and drinks her blood. And then they have sex again. And, like, it was apparently it was good. So.
Makes sense.
They fall asleep, like, sort of wrapped in each other. And she wakes up. And Asar is gone. But Atroxus is there. And he is furious.
Is this where you laid the book down?
Yes it is. So I did.
Me too.
I laid the book down for a while because I just, like, after them, like, I just feel like they didn't get their happiness.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I wanted them to be happy for, like, a day.
A little bit longer.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, like, I wanted them to be awake and happy with each other, not having sex.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Before, yeah. But it didn't happen. So, he asks her if she still wants to claim that she's been loyal to him and, like, forces her off the altar. And, like, she's still naked. And
this is, like, the things that he cares about. It's like, oh, you are just a piece of shit.
Yeah. 100%. Like, he literally abandoned her for like, however long. And now that she's been with someone else, now he cares.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, she is stressed. And she's wondering where Asar is. And Atroxus just tells her she's weak. And he was an idiot thinking that she deserved the sun. And he grabs her chin. And his touch just burns her. And she doesn't understand how he can be here. And how he saw everything. Because he told her that once she went into the sanctums, he wouldn't be able to see because it was too deep into the underworld.
Mm-hmm.
But he just reminds her about altars and blood, and she remembers that, like, blood on an altar can actually thin the veil between the mortal and god realms. So
you're like, of course it can.
Yeah.
Fuck's sake.
So, yeah. She shouldn't have bit him.
Yeah.
They should have saved that for another time.
Just move off the altar.
Yeah. So he commands that she cover herself, and, like, her face is throbbing because it's, like, burned. And she remembers the first time she disappointed him. She self-flagellated for hours at his altar. So, like, she disappointed. I don't even know what she did the first time she disappointed him.
Yeah, was that when she cut the vampire down? Or is it? Yeah, I don't know. Because there's definitely other times that she, like, did something small and she's like, oh, he's mad. And it's like, yeah, because he's an egotistical bastard.
Yeah.
Not because you actually did something wrong.
Yeah, so this is what she's saying, is she, like, self-harmed herself at his altar for hours after she disappointed him for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
And we can assume that every time, like, if she ever disappointed him, she would do the same thing.
Yeah.
And her immediate urge now was to do the same thing. However...
So it's no wonder that she accepts the pain of her magic. Yeah. If that's what, like, that's what she was supposed to do. And you have to assume that, like, her sister told her she should too. Like, her sister had to know that she was doing it.
Yeah. And been okay with it.
Yeah. And have thought it was the right thing to do. And, like, yeah, that's sad.
It's all kinds of messed up.
Yeah.
So it is her urge, but she does, like, be like, nope, I'm not going to do that. And she just,
that's not love.
Yeah, she just gets angry. And he asks why he shouldn't just burn her now. And she just says, you know what, you're right. And then she questions him and says, I'm a monster, but how could you let Sasha come here? And in my brain, I'm like, where else would Sasha go? Like, I didn't think it mattered. I thought everybody went through the sanctums and into the underworld.
But she's not in the underworld. It's been 50 years and she's a wraith.
I know, but, like, he has no control over... Like, I thought it was the wraith's duty to go through all the sanctums. And if they didn't choose to go through, then they were getting stuck. But, like, I didn't think Atroxus had anything to do with that.
Oh, I thought that the wraiths were people that didn't follow that, like, I didn't think that everyone became a wraith. I thought that you could just get to the underworld, and if you can't make it to the underworld, you become a wraith.
Yeah, but I thought if you're following the path, then you went to the underworld.
Yeah.
So if her not following the path has nothing to do with Atroxus.
I guess he's a god, though. Like, he should have made sure that she got there. Like, is it easier for some people?
I don't know.
I don't really know either.
But, like, I guess... So she's like, how could you do this to Sasha? And he's like, who is that?
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. And Mischa's like, does he even know what her name is? Like, she was one of his chosen.
Yeah.
But he never calls her by her name. He just calls her Amare. Or Amara.
Which I think you said that. I think you said that. Was that last week or the week before or something? You were like, does he know her name?
Did I?
Yeah.
Wow. But, like, yeah, he never uses her name. So she's like, does he even know who I am? And she's like, how can he not know who Sasha is as one of his most devoted?
Yeah.
And she tells him that. She's like, she was one of your most devoted followers and was promised peace in the afterlife for her loyalty in life, and asks, like, how he could let that happen. And obviously her questioning him was a step too far for her. And he's like, oh no, you don't talk to me that way. And he's like, you let death defile you, essentially the vampire guy. Allowed an acolyte to die with hate in your heart, Chandra. Desecrated herself with her base impulses, drinking blood.
Yeah, she was just supposed to die, I guess.
Yeah, I guess. Spit on her vows, I guess, by being with Asar. And now she dares blame him for how Sasha ended up. And, like, yes. And he tells her that it is not his fate to bear, and then he shows her sister's end. And we've known through the first two books that she sort of has a shoddy memory of how she turned into a vampire.
Yeah.
And that she didn't care to remember if it ever came up.
Yeah.
And I do think it was sort of repressed in a way, like she repressed it herself. But he brings it back to the surface now.
Just to punish her. That is the only point of this.
Yep. So he shows her a memory of her being turned. And she is like, she is woken up alone and like she's so hungry. And she has eaten bread and plants and water, but like nothing has helped her hunger. And then she hears her sister's voice. So I guess they were separated for a bit. And they're reunited, and she tells her sister that she wants to go home over and over again, and she feels 8 years old. And, like, her sister was hugging her, and then the smell hits her. And Atroxus forces her to watch the memory of her drinking from her sister and killing her, even though she didn't remember it at the time. But she has sort of felt it. Like I said, it's sort of been repressed. So she sort of felt it lurking at the edges all this time. So we get that confirmation, I guess, that she did kill her sister. I wonder,
because we kind of wondered.
Yeah. I wonder about Eamon, though, because I don't think we ever got how.
Yeah, we don't care about him anymore.
I know.
I assume she killed him.
But, like, he's not in the memory at all.
Yeah. But he would have been in the same place. Like, we get what happened kind of before this in a little bit, and he was there, so she must have. But he didn't care.
Yeah, no, he wasn't angry about it.
No. But now it also makes more sense why Sasha was so mad at her.
Yeah.
Some sense, you know.
I guess.
Yeah.
So, she told Rain, like, back at the end of book 2, that his home wasn't her home. Like, I guess he was like, come on, like, you're home. This is your home. And she's like, no, it's not. And she's admitting to us now that that's because her home, she destroyed her home. Because Sasha was her home.
Yeah.
Which is really sad.
Yeah.
And the memory obviously makes her throw up, and she realizes why her sister's wraith is angry at her. And Atroxus just commands her to complete her task no matter what. So I guess this memory has broken her, and Atroxus is like, you will complete your task no matter what. And she just, like, answers really smallly, like, yeah, okay, I will. And she's like, what will happen to this place? Because she's just worried, like, they're going to permanently kill the god of the dead. Like, what's going to happen to the underworld?
Yeah, it's already deteriorating.
Yeah. And he just says it will be better off destroyed since all that's here is suffering. And it sort of shows, like, he doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about.
Yeah.
And she disagrees and tells him, like, it's not all bad because Alaris infused his love here as well. But Atroxus just reminds her that if Alaris had done what was asked of him in the beginning, this world would be better off. And that before Nyaxia, he had his fair share of mortal lovers. So, like, I guess she's romanticizing Alaris's behavior. And Atroxus is like, no, he was essentially, like, just as bad.
Yeah.
And he still looks like he's obviously extremely angry, but he still looks at her with pity and calls her naive, but tells her, like, she will do what he asks her to do. And she's like, but the relic is gone. Someone took it. But he's like, this is the Sanctum of Secrets, and Alaris hid his shame too. And essentially says, look below the surface, and she'll find what she needs. So, I guess the relic is still there, but it's hidden.
Yeah.
So, she asks about her sister, and tells him that she was a better acolyte, and would serve him forever if he let her. And then she, like, sort of sucks up to him, and praises him for his benevolence, and calls him my light, and tells him she knows that she is beyond saving, but her sister is not. And convinces him to give her sister redemption. And he does agree. He says, I'll save your sister if you complete your task. And, like, he's talking about, like, bringing her sister back to life. Because he was like, I'll give her the life that was cut short thanks to you.
Oh, yeah. I didn't catch that.
But, like, I wonder how he's going to do that. But, I mean, I guess maybe he can.
Yeah, he can do whatever he wants, which is why he's such a dick for not doing anything.
Yeah. So then she asks him to save Asar, because she knows that he is jealous enough that, like, Asar touched what was his, that he will obliterate him after everything is said and done. So she's trying to convince him not to. He's annoyed, because Asar sullied what was his even more.
Ugh.
even though he's never going to touch her again.
Yeah.
But she just leverages the fact that he's the heir to the Shadowborn vampire's throne. And, like, that's nothing for the White Pantheon. Like, maybe he owes you a favor or something like that. Like, it could be valuable. And that Nyaxia would be annoyed if, you know, one of her children aligned with the White Pantheon. So, like, she's sort of using what she knows about him against him to make him, to convince him to save Asar. And he agrees to spare Asar, but tells Mischa that she is not allowed to tell him of this plan, and that she must do exactly what he commands for the rest of their journey, and she agrees. And she's, like, thinking she's saving Asar's life, and that she would do anything to do that. And he tells her it's a shame, and that she was so beautiful once. And
that's all he cares about?
Yeah. And essentially to remember how merciful he is before letting her go. So she wakes up in tears, and Asar is not next to her, and she's not even at the altar anymore. So she calls out for him, but she's, like, in this separate room with, like, one curving staircase. And then she hears yips, and Lucy comes in, and Mischa's so happy that she's okay.
And so are we.
So Asar comes in after Lucy, and they just hug, and they're holding each other like they're each other's lifeline. And Mischa says that it feels like coming home, being in his arms, which is huge because she just literally finished saying that, like, she destroyed her home. So to feel like she has one again is a big deal for her. Mm-hmm. And she just says, like, she wants to tell him everything, but she can't. Because, again, in her brain, this is the only way he lives. Mm-hmm. She doesn't even think that he might have his own deal made. Like...
Yeah.
And he acts happy to see her, but, like, again, he sort of acts in a way that she knows that while they were sleeping, he also probably saw some stuff.
Yeah.
So he notices the handprint on her chin, and the one that Atroxus left from burning her. And he is furious and asks what happened. But she just lies and tells him it was a dream. And I'm like, well, it obviously wasn't a fucking dream.
Yeah.
Dreams don't leave marks on you. I don't know why he just
is like... Yeah, I don't know why he's just like, yeah, that's fine. I believe that. It's like,
I don't know if he does believe it, but I think he just wants to leave it alone. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, she just says it was a dream, and she saw the past with her sister Sasha. And, like, it's not entirely a lie.
No.
She then asks him what he saw. And he wasn't really forthcoming. He didn't really tell her, but she does figure out that Malik was involved and, like, around there. But I don't know if it was real Malik or, like, memory Malik.
Yeah.
So,
And was he actually?
Well, that we don't know. Maybe he was fibbing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, they look around, and it turns out Asar woke up somewhere else. So, like, magic had separated them and put them in different locations, which is interesting. Yeah. And they realize that they're actually underneath where they first were with the relic box and the altar and stuff. And Asar tells her that they were wrong and that there is a relic down here. So, like, he definitely got some information.
Someone told him, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he tells her he can feel it. So they hold hands and they go down the stairs, and there's, like, a tomb there, and there's a stone door with, like, a Firefinch phoenix on it. Mischa uses her magic to open the door, like her sun magic. And she was actually worried that she wouldn't have it, but she knows that Atroxus won't take it from her when she has a job to do for him. Mm-hmm. But, like, it really burns when she calls it. Like, it's really not going well. Yeah. So they go into the room, and it's small, and there's, like, a hole in the middle. And they look in it, and they see Alaris's past again. And it's Alaris lowering something into the hole, and he's complaining that he didn't want it, and it's his greatest regret, and he hates himself for accepting it, and he should have destroyed it, but he didn't. Instead, he's burying it here, where his wife will never find it, so she will never know what was intended for her heart. So he had a secret even from Nyaxia. So they reach into the hole and they pull out a golden arrow with firefinch feathers on it. And Mischa realizes that this is a weapon made by gods to kill a god. And she thinks back to Atroxus' words, that if Alaris had done what was asked of him in the beginning, what a better world this would be.
Yeah.
And she understands that Alaris was actually supposed to kill Nyaxia, and so what Atroxus meant was the world would be better off because vampires wouldn't exist, because Nyaxia wouldn't have created them, because she would have been dead.
Yes.
And Mischa also understands that this is the weapon she needs to use to kill Alaris.
Yeah, because he was like, you'll know it when you see it.
Yeah.
So they are obviously out of the room that they had sex in.
Yeah.
And there are just no wraiths or soul eaters around. So it was very much like, oh no. And then they're like, oh, no big deal. There are no wraiths or soul eaters. We're fine. So, but I do wonder, like, maybe Atroxus got rid of them, which I doubt. So I'm like, maybe whoever visited Asar got rid of them. And maybe, like, he asked them to or something.
Yeah.
But anyway, they're gone. No need to worry. So
I know. This whole thing of, oh no, we're trapped in this room, how will we escape, is just gone. Like, no issues anymore.
Everything is fine. So it's going to take about 1 to 2 weeks to get to Seoul. And at this moment, I was like, shit, this is all happening in a long time. Like, this is a long
Oh, I know. It's been several months,
journey.
I feel like.
Yeah.
Which I actually appreciate, because, like, most love stories, it's, like, happening in...
ASAP.
Yeah, it's, like, happening, like, oh, they fall in love in, like, a week. But this is actually, like, it's been a couple of months.
Well, my least favorite part of it was in Crescent City 3 when she was like, a week ago. And I was like, what? All of that we just read happened in a week?
A week?
A week? Because it wasn't a real week, because it's not possible. Anyway, I was like, this is silly. But so I appreciate it in the sense that, like, it's an undertaking. They're doing a lot of shit. And also in the sense of, like, they fell in love kind of slowly over time and over working together. And I do appreciate that. But it does make me wonder. So in Morthrin, when she was first there, like, she said there was a sound of a clock, but it was going faster. So I wonder if time is different in the underworld. And if this is months here, is it years in the above world?
Oh, wow. And yeah, years. That's long.
Does it matter, because they're all vampires anyway?
Yeah, it's true. They're all immortal.
So who cares? But yeah, so it's just interesting. I wonder if we'll get anything about time in the next book. So the boundary between secrets and soul is thin, so a wraith could follow them if it wanted to. And I'm like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
They're going to go the whole journey with Sasha following them.
Yeah.
But they don't.
No. Like, it makes me wonder, like, what are they all doing? Where, like, I understand why we have to give them, like, a break. You know what I mean? Like, we have to give our main characters a break from being attacked. They can't be constantly attacked. But, like...
They need to sleep, allegedly.
Yeah. But it makes me wonder, like...
They don't need to eat.
What are all these wraiths doing?
Yeah.
Like...
Just wandering.
Yeah.
Gotta do my grocery shopping. So Mischa can tell that Asar is shaken, and she wonders what he saw, because obviously she doesn't believe it was just Malik. But he says that they just need to get there and perform the rite, And she's just like, but what about the last relic? And he says that soul is a door, and the passage to the underworld will act as the final relic, where they need 5 relics for this. And I was like, oh yeah, makes sense. Yeah, whatever. He knows things. He's a necromancer. I
agree. I was like, yeah, that tracks.
I'm like, oh, he's so smart. So easy. They just need to... Well, and also, I just assumed that the 5th relic would be in soul.
Yeah.
Because all the other relics are in the places.
Yeah. Come on, Mischa. God.
So Asar holds her hand, and it's awkward now. And I'm sad about it. Because I'm like, you said your soul would never regret him. What is happening?
No, they're not being cool with each other.
Yeah. They're both keeping secrets. So she then asks about the arrow. She asks if it was meant for Nyaxia. And she doesn't like the idea that Alaris betrayed Nyaxia. And Asar tells her that some people think that the gods share strength. So adding a 13th god to the pantheon, or just to the world, like, I guess, recognizing Nyaxia as a god, would dilute some of the magic from the other gods.
Makes sense why they wouldn't want to.
Yes, and I'm like, oh, finally, we have a reason. It's not just because she's a woman.
Yeah.
And then he says, or they might have just been threatened by her because she was a runaway. Which is kind of different than the stories we got of Alaris. Like, this whole thing is different than Alaris rescuing Nyaxia, because he was originally supposed to kill her, so that's probably why he got close, and then he fell in love. So it's a completely different story than just, like, he rescued her and was always a good guy.
Yeah. But also, like, I wonder, like, how she became, like...
so powerful.
Well, no, I guess. I wonder the whole, like, origin story. So we have these 12, the 12 white pantheon gods, I'm assuming are our, like, big, like, sort of the main gods. I'm sort of likening it to, like, Greek mythology in my brain.
Yeah.
But then, like, do you have a whole bunch of minor deities, and that's what she was? Like, so was she always a minor goddess, or, like, was she human once and, like, had some sort of, like, hero moment or some sort of, like, thing and, like, ended up with magic for some reason? Like, I want to know, and, like, a runaway from where? Like, what is she running from? Who was she running from? Like, I now understand why they didn't want her to join the White Pantheon, but why does that automatically make her a threat? Why couldn't she just stay as she was?
Yeah. I do feel like this is definitely a story that the author could, like, do a full thing about how Alaris was supposed to kill her, but they fell in love. Like we could do a whole book about it. Yeah.
But, like, to be fair, who knows what the next 2 books are going to be about? Like, maybe it is going to be about Nyaxia.
Well, yeah, it would be wild, but it is called, like, the whole thing is called Crowns of Nyaxia. Like, that's the name of the...
Yeah. And, like...
Which, I guess the vampires.
We don't... But we don't have another person. Like, we don't have another character to latch onto to tell a story about.
Yeah, we kind of talked about that before.
We did.
Who in the House of Blood would you even... Yeah. Interesting. So Asar kind of ponders if Alaris wanted to use Nyaxia against the other gods. And Mischa's really stuck on, like, this was a love story, and she really believed in Nyaxia and Alaris's love. So she's kind of like, he loved her. But Asar says, people hurt the ones they love all the time. And she thinks that he's thinking of Ophelia, and she thinks of Sasha. And I'm like, he could be thinking of someone else too. But she then says that, like, people that love each other do right by each other and make up for it when they make mistakes. And she needs to believe in that. And she thinks of Araya and Rain when she comes up with this definition of love, because they're like her North Star of love at the moment.
Yeah.
She can tell Asar wants to believe it too, and like he's committed his life to fixing broken things just like her, and by things we mean people. And he kisses her forehead and says it'll be worth it. Cool. So they lie down, and the sky, Mischa says you can like see all the things that they've already done. So I guess it makes sense because they've been going down. But, like, you can see the blood river, and, like, I don't know if she means she can see, like, what they did, or if she just means that you can see where they came from. Because that's what the sky is. Just interesting. So she thinks, like, the last time they laid down together, they were having sex. And then he's like, you're quiet. Yeah. He's just like, you are quiet. And she's like, ugh. And she's like, you are too. And he asks if she regrets. And she thinks immediately of her sister dying. And of Rain saying goodbye to her, or her saying goodbye to him. And of how Rain will feel when he hears that she's dead. But she knows that's not what he's asking. And she told him that she would never regret him, and she meant that. So that's good, because I was worried that after Atroxus came by, she'd be like, I do regret this. So they hold hands, and she thinks that one day he's going to regret her because she's about to betray him pretty badly.
I feel like he must know. Like, he's a smart dude. There's no way he doesn't have an inkling.
Right? Especially since, like, obviously she was visited by Atroxus. She has a burn mark of a handprint on her face. Yeah. Like, what do you think he wants? Do you think he wants Alaris back? He has to know. So they sleep. They don't have sex. But they have a nice moment, and she doesn't regret him, so that's good. They travel to, like, a ghostly version of grass, and it kind of looks like the mortal world, and, like, time, I'm guessing this is the 1 to 2 weeks passing, like, right. They don't really know how much time really passed, but she can feel Atroxus is watching her, so they can't have sex anymore. And she also struggles with her magic, because, obviously, she feels guilt using her shadow magic, but Asar is still getting her to do it. And Asar can tell that something's up, and he says that they're about to attempt one of the greatest feats of Shadowborn magic ever, so she needs to get it together because he's going to need her help. And she's just surprised because she's like, you're the necromancer, what do you mean?
Yeah.
But he says that, like, this journey took a lot out of him, so he's going to need her to help him. And I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. It absolutely does. They have really conditioned us into, like, believing everything they say.
I just trust Asar so much. So she thinks, like, she's going, like, if she does help him, she will be connected to him, and she's gonna have to feel his feelings when she betrays him. And that's just awful. Like, knowing that that's gonna happen, that sucks.
Yeah. It's something.
Yeah. So she wants to tell him what's going on, but obviously Atroxus is watching, and she can't. Yeah. And she says that she never imagined herself doing necromancy. And he says he can think of no one better suited to master the sun and the stars. I just love everything he says.
He's just so nice.
He is. So they get to a field of poppies, and there's a door there. And Asar asks her to sit with him. And she just wants to get it all over with. But they do sit down for a minute, and he says it's possible that no other living mortal has ever witnessed this sight, which is just kind of cool. And she says that she told Rain that she wanted to see the world when she left, and she didn't think it would be the underworld. And he tells her that she'll have quite the story for Rain when she goes back. And she knows that she's not going to live through this. So she's just like, yeah.
But like,
and she
also, I just don't understand. Like, I guess we're not in his brain, so we don't have any memory. Like, we don't know his thoughts. But he's telling her, like, when she goes back, and she's like, yeah. But, like, I don't know, like, I just feel like he needs to clue in and be like, she thinks she's not going anywhere.
Well, and she also needs to clue into the same thing.
Fuck's sakes.
100%. I'm like, how is she not realizing that he's not saying when we go back, he's saying when you go back.
Like, girl, come on.
Yeah. But she's just stuck in it, and she's like, well, it's kind of like, get it. But also, I didn't really notice. I'm not gonna lie. But it makes sense. But she thinks that she hopes that Rain never hears what really happened to her, and that he thinks that she's just out adventuring. I'm like, that's almost even sadder that you just never go back and see him. Like, he'll be sad about that too. Asar tells her, or just says, like, she came to Obatreus to preach light, and he was born a vampire, so he asks what sunlight feels like. And she says it feels like waking up rested or going to sleep safe, and like the future can be better. And he asks if it's like music, and if it's like joy for the sake of it, or if it's like hope. And she's like, yeah, it's like those things. And he tells her that she has given him all of that. So she succeeded in her impossible mission that Atroxus gave her 50 years ago when she died. And he's deeply honored that he had the opportunity to walk this path with her.
So he's saying goodbye. Mischa, clue in.
I know. And she's sad she won't see how he turns out. But she says that he will be an incredible king, and kisses him. They're both saying goodbye. And neither one of them is shutting up long enough to be like, you're saying goodbye too. What the fuck? Silly. So now we get to part 6, Soul. And we get an interlude. And it's the story of how the girl died. So she traveled back. Well, she traveled to Obatreus. And she believes in her mission. And she's traveling with her friend and her sister. And she tried to tell them not to come and not to risk their souls, but they insisted. And her friend followed blindly, thinking she'd succeed because he just believes in her and he loves her. And her sister prepared like a mother, ready to like jump in front of her child and save her.
So her sister does think it's more like a fool's mission, but she's going to keep her safe. Whereas Eamon is like, we can do it.
Yeah. He believes in everything. And she's pretty, like, she does believe in it too. And like, I don't think, obviously, we've read many stories about vampires. I don't think she's wrong for believing this. No. I just think that she's naive.
Yeah.
And she's also, what, 17, 18? Like, she's young, isn't she? I don't know how old she was. Did we get that? I don't remember.
I think she's 19, isn't she?
She was 19 when she turned?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Yeah, because she's 69 now.
Woo!
Nice. Stupid. So they get to Obatreus, and it's beautiful. And they go to an inn, and her sister tells her not to go out tonight because it isn't safe. So Mischa agrees. But when her sister and friend go to sleep and Mischa's still awake, she's just like, well, it's never gonna be safe to go out here. So like, And she's not wrong, but it would have been safer probably to go out with people, especially someone who hunts down vampires like her sister and Eomen.
Yeah.
So we basically, like, the narrator of this part, I'll call it, or the point of view of this part, says that her recklessness is always born of love. So she goes out, obviously, and she sees a beautiful man who tells her there's no need to be frightened and says that she can sit with him to look at the view. And he has a flower in his hand, which reminds her of the vampire at the Citadel. So she thinks that, like, this is a sign. He's safe. Mm-hmm. So she sits with him.
Well, and he's so polite.
Yeah.
He's like, I'll sit with me. I'd like to converse a while.
Yeah. So she does sit with him, and he says it's been a while since he's seen one like her. And she's like, a human? And he's like, no, idiot. And looks at her robes. So he knows what she is. And he says that she's brave. But she says she just came to talk. So he says, come with me and tell me all the ways that I've sinned.
Woo!
And I'm like, this is her naivete, whatever, however you're supposed to say that. But it's like primely shown here in, like, clearly he has bad intentions and he gives me the ick. So then the point of view of this part is just like, why didn't she run? Was it her faith, her desperation, his magic? And then it says, or is the truth more simple? And mortals, like gods, are mesmerized by their own damnation. Which is just like another sign of what's going to happen. And I was like, just ignoring them. We'll get to what that specific point when we get to it, but yeah.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. I sort of, like, took it to her saying something along the lines of, like, she's like, maybe, like, I sort of feel like she's always sort of had, like, rebellious intentions and, like, sort of, like, while she's not a dark person. Because she's not. She's bubbly, she's light, like, she's effervescent. Like, she is very much, like, a sunny personality. She has mentioned sort of these inclinations toward the dark.
Yeah, she was always drawn to necromancy, even in the short amount of time that she was an acolyte.
Yeah, and, like, sort of, like, drawn to, like, dark things. So a part of me is like, girl, you were a bit turned on and curious. Because, like, she said he was super handsome. So, like, I genuinely think that, like, she's saying, was it, like, all of these things? Like, maybe she was just drawn to him because a part of her personality is drawn to the dark.
Yeah, that's fair. I do think she should have, like, I guess the other thing, too, is, like, vampires are predators, so they do dazzle their prey, too. Yeah. But, yeah. So she just takes his hand. And
they skip down the road.
They go to talk. So, obviously, we don't get a whole lot more of the specifics, which is fine. But it's just like this, and then the moment of her killing her sister.
Yeah.
Is shortly after. So I assume it's shortly after. I don't think there's much time in between that, but we don't really know.
No, I assume they go to talk and but, like, I just wonder what, like, made him turn her. Do we, like...
Yeah. Well, I assume we'll get more about her past in the next book.
Hopefully. Well, I guess, yeah, they can't really give everything away.
Yeah. So we'll see. So we go back to the present, and Mischa, Asar, and Lucy are lying on a glass floor. So they walked through into Seoul, and they're on a glass floor, and Mischa is the first to wake up, and she looks at her reflection, and it's her, but she's young, and she has long hair and blunt teeth, and her dawn drinker robes on. And she thinks that it's the part of her that died when she turned. And in the distance, she sees the temple, and it has a tower. Well, it is a tower, and there's a fountain, and the water is running in the wrong direction. And then when you look at the sky is the mortal world upside down and kind of grayed out. But, like, I assume it's just the real mortal world up there, and this is just showing, like, how close they are. So Lucy and Asar wake up, and Lucy doesn't have a reflection, which I found interesting, because I kind of assumed, like, that means that the necromancy worked, and Lucy came back. Like, I kind of took it that way, that Lucy came back. Like, Lucy doesn't have a dead part of herself.
Yes. Yeah, I understand.
Which I found interesting, because she is a skeleton.
Scary, scary skeletons.
It's just interesting. But Asar's reflection is like a blacked out silhouette, and there's smoke coming from it like he's burning, and his opposite eye is bright to the like silver eye that he is his left eye, but his reflection's right eye is bright and white. And he basically tells her that, like, yeah, she was right. The glass below them is the underworld. So, like, that is the dead part of Mischa. That is her reflection. And this is the dead part of him. And she's like, why do you even have it? Like, what is your dead part? And he says that he lost half of himself when he tried to bring Ophelia back. And then he's been losing more and more of himself as he's been the warden of Morthrin. And she's just like, yeah, that makes sense. And I'm like, yeah, that makes sense to me too.
No.
Idiots, all of us.
Although, can I tell you, this, I think this is when, it might have been shortly after this. Hang on, never mind. Keep going.
Okay. So then he tells her that the temple is the intersection between life and death and the gods. So they'll do the ceremony there. And she kind of wonders if, like, Atroxus will come for the ceremony. And she's, like, kind of worried.
Yeah, smart.
Yeah, which is fair. And there's, like, trees around, and she sees... Because they're also waiting for the wraiths to come attack them, because they always have to be attacked by the wraiths before they get to a temple.
Makes sense.
But she sees a wraith on top of a tree reaching for the mortal world that's in the sky, and it looks wrong and worse than, like, the normal wraiths. And it's, like, super stretched out, and Asar just kind of says, like, this is what happens when they're reaching for life. And she can't let this happen to Sasha. So this is reaffirming her that, like, she needs to do what she's promised so that Sasha can be put to rest in the underworld. Yeah. So then, of course, all the wraiths come for them, and Malik bursts from shadows below them, and Mischa only sees his face for a second before he has her by the throat against a tree. And she says, just like the day he turned her. So I assume they walked away to chat, and he threw her against a tree. And I assume he just, like, I don't think he wanted to turn her, but we don't really know for sure. So I do hope we get more of that. So he says to Asar that they have the same taste in women and calls him brother.
But, like, so does this mean that maybe he did want her? Like, was he turning her? Because I thought that in the last books we read that, like, he turned her and then abandoned her because she got the blood sickness or something.
Yes.
If I'm remembering it correctly. So did he initially, like, see her, covet her, turn her with the intention of keeping her, but then seeing that she got sick, like, be like, never mind.
She's not gonna live. Yeah, I wonder if that was it. I do wonder, like, did he rape her when she was a human?
I don't know.
Because it kind of seems like he would.
Yeah. Yeah, he seems like he has that vibe.
Yeah. Because he was going to do it in the last book. So I don't really know. But that's what I mean. I think we are going to get more of the specifics. And, like, because at this point, I feel like Mischa has also blocked part of this out.
Yeah, for sure.
But, yeah, back to this. Him saying that pisses her off, which is fair. And she says, I already killed you. And she drives Asar's sword into the same spot that she stabbed him in the last book. And he looks just as surprised as last time, and it's just as satisfying for her. And I was like, oh, cool. It's over.
I know!
You just had to stab him.
I know! It's so, like, it's very sort of anticlimactic of him, like, chasing them all this time and attacking them. And then she's like, bam, gone.
Yeah. But, of course, that's not it. So Malik charges Asar, and he's just trying to goad Asar, and he says that everything Asar has is his, which I'm sure he believes. And Asar is the bastard, the whore's son, their father's dog. And Mischa can feel that Asar is angry through their, like, connection, but she can also feel his careful control, so he's not letting Malik get under her skin. And she distracts Malik enough so that Asar gets a devastating blow. That's all it says. I don't know what he does. Magic? Maybe? I don't know. But Asar grabs Malik by the throat. And Malik says they'll never accept you. And Asar's shadow magic starts to eat away at Malik. And Asar smiles and looks at Mischa, who thinks, no soul deserves this death except for Malik. And then she stabs him in the heart, and he just, like, explodes and burns away. And we're like, I'm assuming
he's just
that means
dead.
He doesn't get to go. Yeah, he doesn't get to move on. He's just gone forever from all existence. Cool.
Sorry, not sorry.
Yeah, right? And Asar pulls her out of the way of, like, the explosion to save her, because that's what he does. So then the wraiths come in a wave, and Ophelia says it's unfair that Mischa gets the justice that she never did. And she asks why he gets to have another heart to break. And she says that she's torn apart because Asar broke her heart too. Asar asks her to let him help her. And I'm like, dude, it's too late. Just stop. But I get what he's saying. He's like, if he brings Alaris back, Nyaxia is going to help. Or he's hoping Alaris will help Ophelia.
Yeah.
So he's like, if we can get this done, we can help her. But obviously Ophelia wants her vengeance. And Ophelia then says to Asar that nothing can stop Mischa from slipping through his fingers. And then Ophelia just grabs Mischa and pulls her away. And it's another moment of, like, she's also in her head, but also moving her away physically and mentally. And it's just like...
It's also, like, it's Ophelia's favorite thing to do, is to grab Mischa and bring her away. So it's like, is she really trying to get her vengeance? Or is she just trying to, like, pull her away and be like, girl, are you okay? Like, is she trying
girl to
is
girl?
She trying to be a girl's girl?
Maybe Ophelia's just a girl's girl too. Yeah. So she goes inside Mischa's head, and they did list out every memory she had, and it's all the ones that we've seen. It's her at 8, it's her at 12, it's her at 16. It's like all of that stuff. And then they get to the, like, Ophelia seeing Asar touching Mischa, and we're like, whoa. We're like, this is not gonna go well. But Ophelia just, like, I guess Mischa can tell Ophelia's hurt, and Ophelia says that he was always an attentive lover. And then she sees Asar holding Mischa on the altar after they had sex. And Ophelia says that he never held her like that. And Mischa thinks she sounds kind of confused and kind of mortal in that moment, which is just so sad.
Yeah.
It's so sad. I feel so bad for her.
Yeah, because it's unfortunate, because I guess she has been stuck in this limbo because Asar has almost, like, loved her so much he couldn't bear to let her go. But now she's sort of realizing that, like, he didn't really. Like, he thought he did, but what he feels now sort of, from what we see, sort of pales in comparison to how he felt for her. Because even when he was explaining to Mischa, like, I don't think he doesn't still love her. He just feels guilty.
He just feels guilty, yeah. And, like, when we saw his memories, like, it wasn't love. It was, like, the acceptance, the power, and the connections that they got from each other. It was a mutually beneficial thing. They both got stuff out of it. But it wasn't, like, it wasn't love.
Yeah. And I guess, you know, that sort of would especially hurt, like, seeing all of those things confronting all those things and understanding that you are stuck in such a terrible place, not living, not dead, all because, like, at least you could have comforted yourself to knowing that he did it for love. You know what I mean? Like, obviously she was unhappy about it, but, like, now you're seeing, like, he didn't actually feel that. Like, that must suck.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And then they both see, I guess, Asar trying to get to Mischa and calling out to her. And Ophelia says that he used to call for her. And then she says that she called for him 72 times. She asks, how many times will Mischa call for him before the end? And then she's in Mischa's head again, going through her memories and draining her. And Mischa lashes out with her magic, but Ophelia just absorbs it. And it's, like, taking more energy from Mischa. And Mischa just, like, actually looks at Ophelia and sees bloody tears on her cheeks. And she reaches out and touches Ophelia's cheek. And she can feel her fear. And Mischa thinks of Asar saying sometimes they need someone to listen. And she thinks, like, that used to be what she did and what she loved. And she used to, I feel like, actually like that part of being an acolyte, like the helping people. Yeah. And she thinks she does know how to mend a broken soul, and Ophelia's is shattered.
Yeah, like, I do think that was sort of her one calling. The one part that, like, actually made sense for her is, like, she is a great listener. She can, like, help people feel better.
Yeah. So Mischa reaches through their connection of, I guess, Ophelia slowly killing her and lets herself feel Ophelia's grief, anger, and agony. And she thinks, like, she suffered so much for so long. And I'm like, how long has it actually been? It's like, how many hundreds of years? How old is Asar? I have no idea. So Mischa just says that she's sorry that this happened to Ophelia. And Ophelia's just like, how is your pity supposed to help?
Yeah.
But, which is completely fair. But Mischa says that sometimes all you need is someone to feel it with you. And she asks if Ophelia remembers when she was young and when somebody could just make you feel better when you hurt yourself. And then Mischa sees a memory of Ophelia as a child crying and someone hugging her and her feeling safe. And it kind of shocks Ophelia because, like, she's been digging in Mischa's memory. She wasn't expecting one of her own. So Ophelia pushes it away, and she says it wasn't supposed to be like this. And then I guess Mischa, like, experiences her death with her, and she sees how Malik drew out her suffering, and she feels each of the 72 calls for help. And Mischa, like, agrees. She says it wasn't fair or right. And Ophelia can't escape living through this again and again and again. But, like, obviously Mischa empathizing with it and living it with her is doing something, because she looks at Ophelia now and her tears are clear instead of bloody. And she says that, Ophelia says that he was supposed to love her, but he did this. And we assume by this we mean bring her half back. And then Mischa feels the attempted resurrection with her, and she knows it was wrong from the start. So Ophelia tried to resist it, but Asar kept pulling her back. And Mischa tells her that he didn't mean to fuck it up. Yeah. He didn't mean to hurt her. And she says that he did love her. And I think, I know I just said that he didn't love her, but I think he thought he did. And I think he loved her in a way. Yes. I just don't think it was true love.
It wasn't in the same way that he loves Mischa. And I know he hasn't told her he loves her, but we all know he does.
Yeah. And then Ophelia even says, to our point, she says that he didn't see her. He didn't really know her. And Mischa says, yes, but that can all be true at once. He might not have known you or loved you the way he should have, but he did love her. So, it's unfortunate, but it's all true. So Ophelia then says, it shouldn't be this way, and Mischa sees how tortured her soul is, with half of it living and half of it dead, and all of it twisted beyond recognition. And Ophelia says she's tired, and she's hungry. And then Mischa just, full-on hugs Ophelia, and Ophelia says that she's afraid, but Mischa says she won't be alone. And all of the wraiths start to scatter, because Ophelia kind of lets go of her hold on them. So she's been kind of
commanding them,
I guess. Yeah, to attack Asar and Mischa. So Asar can actually get up to her, but Mischa kind of puts a finger up to stop him from interrupting. And Mischa sees Ophelia for everything that she is, and she soothes each piece, knowing this is how Shadowborn magic can heal. And she thinks, the shadows are the negative spaces of a soul. And she's kind of figuring out how to help someone pass over. So Ophelia says she wants to go. And Mischa's like, oh shit, I don't know how to do this part. But Asar comes over and touches Mischa's back. And his magic opens a door. And Ophelia looks at him. And there's no anger there. And he says that he's sorry. And Mischa thinks, Ophelia doesn't forgive him, but she's not angry anymore. So it's something. And then Ophelia just disintegrates. She's moved on, I hope. And Mischa kind of thinks she knows Asar couldn't help her because of their past, and he couldn't get over his guilt and his regret. So that's why he hasn't been able to help her pass on. And it's also interesting because he said he couldn't do anything this deep down. So, the fact that Mischa can, I'm she's fucking powerful. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, way to go, Mischa.
Exactly. So Mischa, Asar hugs Mischa, because they both thought that she was going to die, and she almost did die. And she thinks that this might be the last time that she holds him, because she's going to die. And he calls her foolish and extraordinary. And then Mischa sees, the citadel is passing by in the mortal sky above her. And she thinks, her immediate thought is she wants to show Asar her home. But then she thinks, that word doesn't feel right, because her heart doesn't belong there anymore. And I'm because her home is Asar now.
Her home is with him.
Yeah. So they walk to the temple, and the glass that they're walking on becomes water, and they get to waist level deepness. And then Asar's magic reaches for Mischa's, and hers reaches back. And she thinks of telling Aurea that magic comes from the heart. And she thinks her magic and her heart are reaching for Asar. So we're she loves him too. This is a love fest.
I love.
Yeah. Obviously. Why would we be reading these books if we didn't? So Asar makes a circle in the water, and he puts the first relic, the body relic, So it's the branch with Alaris's blood on it in this circle. And wind comes from nowhere, and something at the center of the world seems to crack. We're like, Jesus, this is going to be destructive. And Asar sings a hymn, and Mischa feels the weight of the spell, but Asar just, like, reassures her that it's going to be okay and, like, they can do it. And she thinks it goes against everything she was taught, so all the sun shit, but it feels right. So it's just another, like, yeah, she's drawn to this darkness. She's drawn to this power, and she always has been. And then Asar connects the body to breath, and he puts the poppy petals in a circle, like he put the branch in, and they feel the rush of a first kiss. And the water that is going up the temple waterfall churns with black and red. Interesting.
Oh, dear.
Shit's happening.
Shit is happening.
Mischa's reflection is just, like, curled up like a scared child, and she's fine. And Asar's reflection is just darker, and the eye is brighter, but, like, his is doing great. Not panicking.
Nobody panic!
Yeah. Asar moves to the next phase, and he puts the ring in the next circle, and they see, like, a couple's embrace, like, kind of pop up out of it. And then Mischa can feel the spell reach out for a specific soul, and the soul reach back. So we're like, that's Alaris. Oh, God. And then Asar puts the arrow in a circle, and his air marks are really bright at this moment, even though Mischa thinks, like, he's closer to death than ever. So that's interesting. We never really talk about it again, but cool.
Yeah, it's fine.
And then Mischa starts to feel pain, and a body starts to take shape in the water, and the door to death creaks open. And Asar tells her that she needs to do the rest. And she's like, what? And she knows something's wrong, but Asar connects to a new circle, and the water opens, and he tells her to keep the passage open like he taught her. And she starts to panic, but he says that it's in his blood, and he's the offering for soul. And he says that he has Alaris's blood. And she's just like, oh, shit. And she thinks back to Atroxus saying that Alaris had many human lovers.
Yeah.
So that's interesting.
Yeah. We all saw. Actually, I didn't see this coming at all.
I didn't.
But now that it's.
I didn't see the blood.
No, like him
having Alaris's blood.
I didn't see the sacrifice happening at all, but now that we're reading it, I'm like, that was so predictable. Only I'm not smart enough to have predicted it.
Yeah. I think we were kind of reading it so fast because we were like, what's going to happen? And still, like, at this point, you're like, yeah, but they're going to bring Alaris back and she's going to have to kill him. Like, what are the, like, what can possibly happen?
We were like, what is she going to do here? Like, we were very much like, she is screwed.
There's no good option. I think we even talked about it last week. We were trying to come up with, like, what would happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So Mischa feels just as stupid as we do. But she thinks it's because, like, she just believed him that they didn't need a sacrifice here, which doesn't make any sense. So she just says no, but Asar says that he made a deal with Nyaxia to make sure that Mischa would get freedom if she goes through with this thing. But then if she goes through with it, she has to kill him. So she's in a no-win situation here.
Yeah, because if she doesn't kill Alaris, then her sister is fucked.
Well, yeah, and Atroxus is mad at her. But if she brings back Alaris and doesn't kill it,
like,
if she doesn't kill him,
her freedom.
Her sister's mad. Not her sister. Atroxus is mad. If she does kill him, Nyaxia is going to be pissed at her. So they're both, at this point, they're both dying. That's the only option.
Well, apparently Asar is dying either way.
Well, yes, yeah. And she kind of realizes then that, like, Asar must have had a visit from Nyaxia when she had the visit from Atroxus. And he made a deal to save her, just like she made a deal to save him. And she thinks it's such a cruel joke. And we're like, yeah, of course this is what happened. Yeah. Of course.
Yeah. So obvious.
Exactly.
And we were like, what's gonna happen?
Yeah. That's the thing when you're only in one person's point of view, you forget that the other person has, like, choices and options.
Yeah.
Or I do. So Asar says that he never wanted anything, like he wanted to show her that happy ending she believes in. And I'm like, oh. And then he just steps into the final circle. And I'm like, you could have kissed her. You could have done something.
But he couldn't have, because Atroxus would have been pissed.
True. And the spell opens, and he just gets swallowed whole by this water and the spell and everything. So she screams for him, but the underworld opens, and the ritual is complete, and he's gone. And the spell rips her apart, and then she just, like, gets transported to the outside of, like, the circle-shapey thing that he made with the 5 relics. And in the center, there's a silhouette of what could be, and she can tell that the gods are watching now. Like, fuck the gods. Mm-hmm. And she's just looking at the silhouette, and then Atroxus appears behind her, and she clings to Asar through her anchor that she, like, has from him. And the ritual is trying to consume her, but she won't let him go, which I love. And Atroxus just assumes that it's already Alaris. He doesn't realize that Asar is still in there, or, like, a piece of him is. And Atroxus says, look at how he fights for life like a mortal. And he's just, like, already being a dick. But it's so much worse that if Alaris does come back, she's going to have to stab the man that she loves to kill him. Like,
which Atroxus definitely knew.
100%. So she turns to him, and she just says that he said he was going to spare Asar. And he just laughs and says that he kept his word. He didn't make this happen. I'm like, fuck you.
Because he didn't, so he's not pulling the trigger and killing him. It's going to be her to do it.
Exactly. Yeah. So Atroxus says that Alaris was sloppy to leave a drop of his bloodline in the mortal world, and the rest of the gods take precautions, so they don't let that happen. And he says, for 2,000 years, the world suffered from Alaris's mess, but no longer. And he says that she's done so well and left her mark on history today. And then the arrow appears in her hand, and he tells her to do it quickly because Nyaxia will be here soon, and they'll have spread a new dawn by then. And he, like, spreads his arms out, and light starts going everywhere and touching everything, and all of the dead wraiths are, like, fleeing from it, except for her sister, who just looks at Atroxus with, like, adoration. And that's kind of like earlier I was like, I don't understand how she can feel so betrayed by him and then, like, look at him like this the whole time that he's here. She's, like, adoring of him. But then I was like, oh yeah, she's never seen him before, I guess. But so, still.
Like, he's, like, killing a bunch of wraiths, right? Like, they're absorbing, they're, like, lighting on fire?
I think so, yeah. But she's in the sunlight, and she's not, like, Sasha's not dying. Okay. I don't think. And maybe it's because he made a promise. Maybe that's protecting Sasha, because he promised Mischa that he would, I guess, bring her back to life. So Mischa knows that, like, she can finish this. She can bring Alaris back, but she'd have to let Asar go, and she can't do that. And she kind of has a moment of realization that, like, Atroxus is doing this because Alaris was part of the White Pantheon, and he didn't die, so he kept his portion of the magic. So it's kind of what we talked about earlier with, like, if they accepted Nyaxia, then that would dilute their power. And Atroxus just wants more power for himself by actually truly killing Alaris.
Yeah, so the power will be split between 11 instead of 12.
Yeah.
What a shock. So it was about him the whole time.
Yeah, right? And, like, maybe if he's the only one there when Alaris dies, he would get all of the power. Like, I don't really understand. Maybe there's a way. Or he just wants another 11th. So, Mischa just thinks no. And he must realize it. Because he just explodes in rage. Because of course he does. And he says that she swore herself to him. And he's offering sunrise. And then his light grows brighter. And all of the wraiths are rushing away. Of course, except Sasha. And Mischa looks up and she sees the House of Shadow and the House of Night in the mortal sky above her. And he tells her that she understands better than most that Nyaxia created an illness that will never stop spreading. Never stop spreading monsters. And then the humans will suffer. And she watches Atroxus' son flood over Obatreus and knows that his plan is just to kill all of the vampires.
Yeah.
Which is kind of a turn. I was like, oh shit.
But also, he has a good argument here. Like, I know you're going to talk about it. But, like, I honestly am very shocked at Mischa's reaction to this.
Yeah, but she always thought that there was good in some of the vampires. So, like, I'm not super shocked, but I get what he's saying. So he shows her a little girl in a human district being attacked by a vampire. And he says that there will be no more creatures coming to spread their plague to the human nations. And then he shows her a bloody shore with a dead vampire army. And I'm assuming this is in relation to, I think we got that the House of Blood attacked an island and took over a human nation. Just an assumption. I have no idea. And then they see vampires starving in desert ruins and turning on each other. And then he says there will be no more sisters dying at the hands of the one they love, which is just like a stab to her. Yeah. And there will be no sisters that must carry the burden and the shame of that. And then he shows her killing Sasha again. And yeah, so that's really his argument. And like, it'll help humans. It's good. But also he's killing a shit ton of people.
He is, but like, this is what I mean when I say like, he really played on her, like, her sensitivities and insecurities. And like, especially showing her that kid being eaten. I really thought that would...
Yeah. Well, and showing her attack Sasha again, because, like, she didn't want to do that, obviously. And Atroxus looks at her now, and she thinks he's looking at her like he did on their wedding night, when she thought that this was love. Which I love that she has the differentiation now of, like, that's not what love actually is.
Well, because Asar showed her.
Yeah. Soon. And Atroxus asks her if she misses the sun. And she does. And she lifts her head to it. And it drenches her. And, like, I'm assuming she's burning up. This can't be good.
Getting crispy.
Yeah. And Mischa thinks that this feels like damnation. And she looks at Sasha. And her love for Sasha dwarfs the warmth of Atroxus' sunrise. Which is just interesting, and why I find it so wild that there's nothing about Sasha past this point. So it has to be a point in the next book that, like, she'll come back.
Yeah. Hopefully not.
And is she going to be pissed because of what happens now? Is she
going to be a dick?
100%. She has to be, right? Anyway. So she loves her sister more than she cares about Atroxus, really. And she's kind of having that realization. So she just stabs him in the neck with an arrow, with the arrow. We're like, oh,
very
okay.
Fun.
Yeah, I was like, interesting. I guess this is what they meant when they were like, he's drawn to his damnation or something at the beginning when he first saw her. I was like, why did I not read that better? Because I just thought that it was going to be his downfall. I didn't think she was going to kill him. I thought it would be his downfall in some way. But anyway, he's just here bleeding some gold blood out of his neck.
I would catch that.
And yeah, it's
just
powerful. And he's just in shock and like grabs her shoulders and starts flooding her in fire and pain, and she's going to die now. And he says, I made you and you'll end me. And she says, then let me burn with you. And she takes the arrow out of his neck and stabs him in the chest. And the world shakes, and the sun cracks, and shards of it just start falling to earth. And I'm like, the sun is gone.
There's just no
She killed him,
sun.
and the sun is gone.
So, like,
there is no sun now.
Vampires are loving their lives.
It's the exact opposite of what he was promising. And she's still holding to a piece of Asar, and she reaches for his soul as Atroxus dies, and then she blacks out. And Asar wakes her up, and Mischa thinks that she's dreaming, and she thinks like he looks different, which is interesting. And he calls her foolish and a magnificent woman and asks what she did, and he's crying. And she's dying still. She doesn't have any energy to say anything in any of this part. Like, she's just there for the ride.
There for us to figure out what happens after.
Yeah. So Nyaxia shows up then and says this is not what she asked of him. And he didn't save her husband. He stole her husband's power. And we're like, that's what's different.
Yikes.
And she says that he's not worthy of it. And Asar says, like, he kind of just doesn't care about that. But he just says that Mischa saved her people and gave her vengeance and endless night. And Atroxus's head. So, like, Mischa's great. She did everything for
like,
her.
I mean, obviously it's a small comfort. She was, like, so looking 100%. Forward to the love of her life. And they're like,
exactly.
Well, we didn't do that, but we did get you this, and this. So, like, yeah, like, I don't think, I don't know. I think Asar is being a little bit like, look at all the great stuff she did. Yeah. But, like, that's not
100%.
Like, she wanted the love of her life back. She didn't want this.
Exactly. And then to make matters worse, Nyaxia picks up the arrow, and I guess this is her realizing that Alaris was supposed to kill her, because she didn't know that. So, like, another thing to just rub salt in the wound. And she cries for the betrayal. And Mischa sees the moment that she discards love for power. Like, fuck. And Nyaxia says to Asar that she assumes that he's going to ask her to save Mischa. And he denied her love. And she says it hardens a heart to lose what you love most, and he'll need that for the coming war. So he begs her, and she says the others are coming, and maybe they'll let him hold her head as they let her hold her lovers once. And Mischa wants to stop Nyaxia because she thinks, like, she can help heal her soul and save her from this path of power instead of love.
She's actually, like, reminds her of Ophelia. Like, she feels like the same.
Yeah. And she thinks Nyaxia must feel that she's thinking that, because Nyaxia touches her cheek. And Asar says that Mischa's one of the best of them, and them being Nyaxia's creation. And Nyaxia calls her a broken bird and says that if he wants to be a god, then to save her himself. And she says that he can come with her, but obviously he's not leaving. And then she just leaves. And I was like, yeah, he is a god. Why can't he just save her?
Yep.
Dunno. So Mischa's dying. And then the gods start to show up. So we get Vitaris, and he has one arm covered in green moss, and the other is blackened in decay. And he's the god of fertility and plague. And he just says she killed him. And then Ix shows up, and she's beautiful, and she's the goddess of fertility and sex, and she falls to her knees. And then Shrana, who has bronze skin and is the goddess of machinery and science, shows up. And Xerix, the god of rain and sea, and Shikit, the goddess of war and justice, with 6 swords on her back, like steel wings, kind of surround the two of them. And so we got
a few gods.
5 maybe. And then Vitaris says that they tried to resurrect a god and murdered another, and that this can't go unpunished. And Shikit says that they'll execute him, because what else can they do? And Asar just keeps shielding Mischa because that's all he cares about. And then I'm gonna say Acacia.
Yeah. I
don't
right.
know.
Isn't Acacia the one that gave Araya and Rain their bond? It must be.
Yeah.
What a rebel.
I wrote that right there.
Oh! I did not read down that one sentence.
Yeah. No, because she's the goddess of fate and sorcery, so that's Araya's mother's goddess.
Because she could see the future as an oracle.
Yeah. So she appears, and we probably already knew this, but she has like 6 wings on her back that show 6 different futures.
Which is cool.
It's so cool. But she says that he can't be killed, and when they look into the futures on her wings, everything is just shrouded in darkness. And I'm like, are we never getting the sun back? Is there just no sun ever again? Like, this is wild. But she says that Asar might not be a god by birth, but he carries the power of Alaris, so he can still be of use. So they shouldn't kill him. And then one of the gods asks, what of her, meaning Mischa? And then glowing chains wrap around Asar, but he tries to keep holding her. And Mischa knows that he's never going to let go of her, not in life or death. And he tells her, Asar tells Mischa, to let go because he'll find her. And Mischa thinks like she's not special in life or death, and she just had the favor of a god that's dead now, and she's not worth saving. Which is just kind of sad because she is special. And it was kind of this moment that I was like, I wondered if she got god magic from killing Atroxus, like if she took over his magic somehow, because I was like, she's literally like saying that she's not special, she's not a god, and I was like, so is she?
Could she be?
Could she be? And I guess I didn't really expect the next part to happen.
I know.
I don't know what I expected. And it's kind of sad because Nyaxia was just like, maybe they'll let you hold her head. And they fucking don't, because Shikit rips Mischa away from Asar.
Can I just say, she is literally crispy. Like, she is a husk of crisp. She's like...
She's already dying.
Like burnt toast right now.
Yeah. So, and Shikit, like, just throws her off away from Asar, and her neck snaps and her body breaks, and Shikit still, like, stabs her through the heart. Like, okay, this is great. And as she's dying, Asar says, stop, I need her. Which makes Mischa smile. Because it's the first words he said, and the words that saved her from being killed at the beginning of the book. But they don't save her this time, and she dies alone on the ashes of her god.
I hate it.
Yeah.
But
so now we get part 7.
I hate it. But also, literally everybody we've been interacting with in this book are dead anyway, so, like...
oh, yeah.
What is death anymore?
He's the god of death now, so I'm like, it's not over. They can still be in love. So now we get part 7, Death. And Mischa's in a garden looking at golden feathers, and it's kind of her memory again, because we got this earlier. And Sasha tells her to get away from it because it's dirty and gone. But the dead firefinch looks like it could fly away. So Mischa reaches down and says, I don't think it is. And then the bird ignites and leaps into the sky, burning against the night. And she touches the tattoo on her arm and thinks it really is a phoenix. And then she rises, which I think is like, saying she rises is very symbolic of like, she's also a phoenix and she's rising.
Yeah, from the ashes, especially the ashes of her god that she died on.
Yeah.
I do wonder about the symbolism of this, because we sort of talked about this at the beginning. So, like, I have started reading the next book, and, like, it's a little bit of spoilers, but, like, it's in the first 50-ish pages, so, like, I don't really consider it super spoily. That, like, you know, she is still around, and, like, again, it is in the first, like, 30-40 pages that she is holding on to, like, that I guess Asar needs her because she didn't finish the spell, so she's got a tiny piece of Alaris's magic, and he needs her in order to fully ascend to godhood, we'll say. So I do wonder if, like, this whole thing of, like, her resurrecting the firefinch, like, is that, like, symbolic of her holding on to that piece of Alaris's magic? Is that symbolic of what you mentioned of maybe this is her, like, maybe she's got, maybe she's gonna inherit, Atroxus's magic, because, like, maybe it is kind of, maybe the symbolism of, like, you know, in the vampire world, you kill the heir, like, you know, sometimes that means that you get their magic or whatever. So, like, is there symbolism in that of her killing Atroxus? Maybe she's going to get that magic, or is it just a symbol of her, like, resurrecting from the dead and she's not going to stay dead? Like, there are so many layers as to what it could be.
Yes.
In the symbolism of her, like, just resurrecting this firefinch.
Yeah. And it immediately made me think of, maybe week 1, end of week 1, beginning of week 2, Atroxus reanimated the guardian bird.
Yeah.
With fire.
Right.
So this kind of made me think of that, and that's why I was kind of like, maybe she's using his magic. But I do think that I think there's lots of layers to it, but I think the main layer is that she is a phoenix and she's not just going to be dead next book. Like, she's rising from the dead kind of thing. And then she's in a field of flowers and she kind of feels like she wants to sink into the ground and flowers to grow out of her. So I would like,
she wants to rest.
Yeah. But she thinks not yet. And she noticed that her, like, brown skin has, like, a silvery sheen. So I'm like, she's a wraith, I guess? And then a man kneels next to her and says, get up. And it's fucking Vincent.
That asshole!
Wild. Are we going to have to start liking Vincent? Okay, good. Kristen shook her head no.
Now, again, to be fair, I'm 50 pages in, so, like, God only knows what kind of a role he'll play, but as of right now,
And he's still around, though. I'm like, Jesus, I didn't even think of this.
No, I did not think that he would exist.
No. But he says, I hear we have some work to do. And it's very much like,
yeah,
what?
I just wonder, like, how long she was out of it. That's because, like, how did he already hear that they have stuff to do and what it is that they have to do? Like, how does he immediately know? Like, how much time has passed for him to figure it out and find her?
Yeah, or did he just watch the whole interaction between the gods?
No.
And how?
But, like, what work is there to do? Like, besides, like, resurrecting her, but that's not really his
Why is that his job?
It's not. So, like, I just wonder.
It really reminds me of, when you're, like, watching a show and it's, like, the season finale and then someone you weren't expecting to come back comes back and you're like, oh, my God. And then you have to wait a year. Like, that's what this is like.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, so then we get the epilogue, and it's in Asar's point of view, and he's just sitting alone for a long time, and he's waiting. And he thinks he doesn't remember what the gods did after they dragged him away from her corpse, or what they said, but he does remember Shiket's blade going through Mischa's heart, and he just is reliving that over and over again. And he thinks the White Pantheon aren't really sure what he is, and he's not sure either. They currently have him chained in a black room, and he never felt right among the living, but now he feels even more disconnected from the living. Like, kind of makes sense. God of death now. And he doesn't hunger for blood, and he doesn't sleep, and he thinks some part of him didn't come back when Mischa pulled him out, and something new replaced it. So, something of Alaris's, we assume. And he knows that the gods are wondering what he's going to do. And he thinks, like, Ix led Alaris to his ambush. Shrana crafted the sword that killed him. And Vitaris scattered his body. So he thinks the gods are worried that he's going to punish them for that. Like, if there's some part of Alaris inside of him, he's going to want vengeance. But Asar thinks, like, even though he has his powers, he isn't him. But the gods are right to be concerned. And he says he doesn't remember the betrayal of Alaris, but he remembers what they looked like standing over Mischa's body, and what she looked like going up in flames by the god of the sun, who she once loved more than anything. So he's just pissed at all of the gods.
Because they...
And how they
treated her like very inconsequential when, in fact, she is the most important person in the world to him. Yeah.
And he says, or he thinks, like, how the god of vitality dismissed her, like she was no more than a wounded animal, and the goddess of justice inflicted the horrific injustice of her death. And he's just going to remember all of this, and he hates them more for killing her than any 2,000-year-old betrayal. And the death of one woman who was better than all of them, who gave everything, and who was worth more than all of them. But he thinks he's patient, and he's determined. He has plenty of time to think of Mischa and what he will offer her when, not if, he finds her again. And then he thinks if he was the god of the sun, he would offer her endless dawns. And if he was the god of the sea, he would give her currents that always brought her home. And if he was the god of vitality, he would have given her sweet fruit and spring flowers. And he would have given her anything and everything, because that's what she deserves. But he's not the god of any of those things. He only has one gift to lay at her feet. So he waits. And I was like, so he's going to kill all of the gods for her. That's what he's going to do. Because his gift is death. Like, what else can he lay at her feet?
I'm wondering, like, I was laying, like, no death at her feet? Like, is he just going to, like, keep her alive forever? And, like, my immediate thought is, okay, so if he is now the new god of death, and he doesn't need blood anymore, he doesn't need to sleep anymore, he's, like, immortal.
Yeah.
She is a vampire. She's still, like, long living. But, like, in this world, do we remember, do vampires just keep living forever until, like, just forever unless they're killed? Or do they just have really long lives?
Asar's father was getting, like, dementia, and he was, like, one of the oldest vampires we've ever seen, right? So, like, I don't know if he would have died himself, or they kind of just, like, put them out of their misery once they're old. Once they're, like, you know.
So, like,
assisted
he's a god, so, like.
Can he just bring her back all the time? Like, is she just gonna die, and he's just gonna keep bringing her back?
I don't know. Oh, shit.
And, like, can he even bring her back? Or is she just, like, dead, but he can keep her, like, sustain her somehow that she won't become a wraith, like a real
But, like,
wraith.
also, can he just, like, go and visit her whenever he wants? Like, does he even need to resurrect her? Can they just be together, like, with her...
In her heaven.
Like, her taking... Maybe she decides to take care of the descent, stay down there and shepherd, like, Esme, and, like, can they just still be together? Because she won't die that way.
Yeah.
If she's already dead.
Yeah, I'm just like, you know how none of Esme's shit was real? Is the sex real if they're...
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting shit. So this book leaves us with a lot of questions, but it was a really good read.
Yeah. Which is why I started the next one. Because
that's
and
fair.
do you know what? Like, a part of me, so... He is obviously, rightfully so, very angry that they killed Mischa. I completely agree. Because we know her. However, she just royally fucked over the entire human race by killing Atroxus and getting rid of the sun. Like, not even just the fact that now vampires sort of have free reign to hunt whenever they want. Like, not even just that. But, like, humans rely on food. Typically... Food is either grown in the soil, and you need sunlight for it to grow. Yeah. Or you kill animals that eat stuff that grows from the soil. So, essentially, humans, like, require the sun to live.
Yeah.
And she just very quickly she is essentially doomed the human race to starve to death. So, like...
And if the humans starve to death, the vampires are going to starve to death.
Like, realistically, while I appreciate she's, like, taking ownership over herself and she's getting rid of the sort of the figure that controlled her for all of her life and, you know, led to all this guilt and these feelings of want that she shouldn't have and, like, you know, that kept her sort of cloistered and not living life to the fullest. I do appreciate that. However... She has royally fucked over the entire world. So I sort of get the gods being like, die. You fucked us over.
Yeah, like, that's not even enough.
But, like, again, I'm glad that he's like, I need vengeance for Mischa. I will find her. And I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
But also, she did sort of deserve to die for... making the sun go away.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry.
Definitely. It's a bit wild. Like, what are they gonna do now? Like, what about all the people that are gonna mentally be on okay because of seasonal disorder?
No more vitamin D. What are they gonna do?
Exactly. Sad times.
Oh.
So true, though. Like, just a mass, like, the first wave of deaths is just going to be people killing themselves because they're just depressed. Listen, I'd be one of them, so I'm not joking about it lightly.
Oh, no.
But honestly, if the apocalypse came, like, I would just, like, as long as I had some battery life, I'd just drink and read and wait. For death.
Great.
I ain't going out and fighting anything.
No.
I'm not running.
I won't make it.
Yeah. Like, what's the point? Anyway, on that note.
I just want to say, so just as an aside, so the book 5 in this series, so obviously the next book is oh, shoot. What's the next one called? I forget. Do you remember? Oh, The Fallen and the Kiss of Dusk is book
next,
4.
yes.
So that is the conclusion of Asar and Mischa's story. So book 5, that is coming out in, I think, August of 2026, I believe.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So we were talking about, like, well, who the heck is it going to be?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We did talk about it a lot, but we also talked about it a lot in our first recording.
Got
deleted. So I don't know how much we talked about it.
Maybe we didn't talk about it at all. So the next book is called The Lion in the Deathless Dark, and it is the first book in the Bloodborne duet. I looked it up. This is on the Carissa Broadbent just website. Website is what I was trying to say, and it came out wrong.
Okay.
The Carissa Broadbent website. So the little synopsis there says, some blood tastes like vengeance, some blood tastes like grief, some blood tastes like nothing at all. Under an eternal night, the world has been ravaged by 10 years of war between humans and vampires. Kyrene scrapes by as a bounty hunter, bearing a blessed sword from the goddess of justice. But in the wake of a devastating loss, Kyrene commits a crime that makes her a target for mortals and gods alike, and she is still desperate for vengeance. Her only chance at survival and revenge is making a deal with her enemy, the silver-tongued vampire prince Septimus, who offers her one final job, to slay the gods themselves.
Fun.
Together, Kyrene and Septimus must hunt the ultimate marks, all while navigating a web of prophecies and curses. Septimus is calculating and mysterious, masking secrets bloodthirsty enough to consume them both. Yet most dangerous of all, Kyrene finds an unexpected kinship in him. But their growing attraction is deadly in the world where the only currency is blood. And Kyrene will stop at nothing to fulfill her ultimate goal, to kill the goddess of vampires, even if it means sacrificing love for revenge. Mm-hmm.
Interesting. So, I guess it's still dark.
Maybe. So, I am interested because, like, not much is given away there about, like, what's going to happen in the fall and in the dusk, kiss of dusk or whatever.
Yeah, well, I guess we know he's not going to kill all the gods and they're not going to get the sun back.
Well, we don't really know that.
You think it could be happening, like, at the same time? I guess. I don't believe it, though.
All right.
But yeah, it could be. That's true.
I don't know.
It would just go, I feel like it would go against the way that the other two duologies kind of went, but that doesn't mean that this one can't be different.
I feel like this world is like going to hell in a handbasket.
Kind of like ours.
Well, yes.
Maybe we should kill some gods. See what happens.
If only they were tangible.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like I wonder if I do think that the next book is going to end with like some uncertainty, and then like the last two books, like the world has to be at some sort of peace by the end of book 6.
I hope so.
What the fuck
And then we'll get like Nyaxia's story and it'll be devastating.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess we're done this book. Yay!
I guess we'll probably read the next one sooner than later because it really did.
It
grab
did,
us.
yes. Well, I mean, I've already started it. So yeah, I guess we're gonna wrap it up for this week. If you want to get in touch with us and share your thoughts on anything you heard in our episodes, or if you have any book suggestions, especially fall cozy ones, please reach out to us by email at coffeeandcoread@gmail.com or on Instagram or Facebook at Coffee and Co-Read or coffee.coread on TikTok.
So next week we're going to start a new book and we're going to be reading When the Moon Hatches by Sarah A. Parker. So that'll be exciting. We're going to do chapters 1 to 16. So make sure to follow along. And if you're enjoying our chats, don't forget to follow, rate, and review wherever you get our content. Thanks for listening, everyone. And we'll see you on the next page.